शेअर करा. मी बोलतोय प्रेझेंटर तुम्हीच राहा म्हणजे माझी स्क्रीन मला शेअर करायची गरज नाही. माझा व्हिडिओ मात्र दिसू द्या. व्हिडिओ आणि ऑडिओ तुम्ही व्हिडिओ चालू करा. हा तेच ना सरांना व्हिडिओ आपण वाचलेला नाही की त्याला किती बोलले. हेडफोन You got to give response kindly done as early as possible. जो इफेक्ट पहले को वाली हां सर आवाज येतोय सर अभिनंदन सर थँक्यू सर त्याची भेटू म्हटलं पण तीसनी काय थँक्यू सर सर जबरदस्त व्हायरस आहे तुमच्या पेन ड्राईव्हमध्ये मी काढलं तरी ते ओपन होते आणि आपल्या याच्यावर स्कॅन करून सर मी झालो का जॉईन हां सर मग कसं याच्यावरच देऊ का सर फक्त जॉईन तिथूनच देतो मी नावावर द्या ते यांना लावायचं का फोन सोयीगली तर झाली तरी देशमुख सरांना लावतो सर नमस्कार सर काही प्रोग्राम चालू झालेला आहे पण ते जॉईन होऊन थांबा सर कारण काय आपलं खूप जणांचा रिस्पॉन्स आहे ना नाही सर रिस्पॉन्स जास्त आहे 200 पेक्षा पण ते मग जॉईन व्हायला जर अडचण आली नंतर तुम्हाला तर म्हणून फक्त जॉईन होऊन थांबून हां 1 वाजता आता चालू तर करणारच आहे आपण पण तुम्ही जॉईन होऊन जा कारण सगळे झाले तुम्हाला जॉईन पहिले आपले सगळे जॉईन We are live. We are live. YouTube live भी start हो गया. आपको लिंक भेजा. लाइव के ऊपर जाके भेज देते. हाँ. लेकिन वो है कि गूगल मीटिंग तो YouTube. हाँ. वर टाका, मेलवर टाका. नाही ते मोठे आहेत व्हिडिओ. सर ओपन केले सर आपण. अनलॉक आहे ना. ओपन केले. अटेंड की वेटिंग है. मुझे सबके नाम दिख रहे हैं ना अटेंडिंग के. अभी दिख रहे पहले. पर वो अटेंडिंग ऑप्शन है नहीं. सर ते झालं का? झालंय ते प्रेझेंटेशन झालं, ते क्लिप द्यावी लागेल, त्याशिवाय ते वाजणारच नाही. हे करा ना. ऑन करून ठेवा. कारण आता जॉईन होतात बरेच जण. माझ्या व्हॉट्सअपवर आहे सर. तुम्ही व्हॉट्सअप वेब चालू करता का? व्हॉट्सअपवर आहे माझ्या, त्यांनी पाठवली. नाही ती नाही आहे स्टोरी. ती नाही आहे. दोन दोन ती व्हिडिओ क्लिप आहे सर, ऑडिओ नाही आहे. पाठवतो. मोबाईलवरून ऑडिओ चालू करायला. मी तुम्हाला ऑडिओ, आता तुम्ही हे चालू करा आणि याच्यात दिली आहे ती चालू करा. ती जी ऑडिओ क्लिप आहे ती दिल्याशिवाय ते सर
Wage or went up over the pulling. So 30 kilonewton, and this is that. So horizontal, if you resolve, this is nothing but a F cos theta. So F means 30 kilo. In this way, you can calculate this. R
सध्या कोणीतरी दुसरंच बोलत होतं, आमच्यापैकी कोणीच नव्हतं बोलत. हां हां. तिसऱ्या फ्लोअरवर नाही, तिसऱ्या ते पेअर करायला प्रॉब्लेम गेला. आला स्क्रीन आलं होतं ना तर. दोन तीन जण जास्तीचे जॉईन करून ठेवायचे का, म्हणजे गरज पडली की त्यांना हे करून आपल्याला ज्यांना हे करायचं आहे. हो जाधव सर. इथे असतो काही अडचण नाही. तुम्हाला बाहेर करता येत ना. कधी चालू झालं. नाही नाही, मी माझा आवाज चेक करतो.
Hello, hello.
सर येतोय
Welcome
आवाज येतोय.
all the participants. येतोय? Okay.
Yes, this is Ajay Deshmukh, sir. Where, sir, I could see you.
Yes, sir. Yes. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Yeah, I just joined. Yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
but maybe I will be there for a short time, and then I will have to move to another place
Yeah.
for another lecture. Yeah,
Yeah. Probably we will take hardly, sir, 10 to 15
yeah,
minutes, sir.
yeah. No problem.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, but 2 o'clock is another lecture in another college online.
No, no problem, sir. No problem.
नाही तर वरतून घेऊ शकतो ते वाजले वाजले किती जिकडू ऐक ना मी जे पण वाचते ना
All the participants are requested to kindly be mute yourself.
सगळं विसरून जाते
All the
मला
participants are requested kindly be mute. वो नहीं रहा इसकी वजह से ऑडियो क्लिप मिल नहीं रहा है सर बरोबर तुम्ही काय केलेलं आहे ना सर माझ्या ह्याच्यात वाचतं जोडली पाहिजे ना मला त्याच्यातून होत नाही का माझ्या ह्याच्यातूनच होत सापडली तुम्हाला देतो मी दिसते घेऊन टाका लगेच लगेच घेऊन टाका नाही
রিচার্জ করবো বলে লাগছিল।
हे पहिलं प्रेझेंटेशन मध्ये सर सुरू करा एक मिनिट चला प्रेझेंटर बनवा मला प्रेझेंटर बनवा हा और एक बाकी तुमचं होणारच सर एक 5 मिनिटं थांबा आमच्याकडे प्रोग्राम चालू आहे मी तुम्हाला कॉल बॅक करतो लाईट गेली आता मॅडम फक्त एकच काम करायचं उजेड मला लाईट येईपर्यंत थांबा उजेड नका करू लाईट येते आपण ओपन प्रॉब्लेम मला प्रेझेंटर
all participants welcome for the short-term training program. Program will start short time. Kind. Good afternoon, one and all present here. I, Professor Nagesh Vaidya, heartily welcome to all the respected dignitaries and all participants for online short-term training program on machine learning using Python, organized by Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering, CSMS's Chhatrapati Shahu College of Engineering, Aurangabad, and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University under TQ3. It is our holy tradition to worship our goddess Saraswati before any important event. Now, we will start our program with Saraswati Vandana. Machine learning is widely used by various e-commerce and entertainment companies such as Amazon, Netflix, and so on. For product recommendation to the user, whenever we search for some product on Amazon, then we started getting an advertisement for the same product while internet surfing on the same browser, and this is because of machine learning. The name itself indicates that the machine learns. One of the most exciting application of machine learning is self-driving cars. If we list out such application of machine learning, then the list will be the larger one. And many job opportunities are presented. There is an industry which can pay a good salaries. Understanding this immense scope for the mentioned field and advancement in the technology, our college and university decided to groom all faculties, students, and some industrialists in the field of machine learning. To support this activity, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere, and we together to achieve this broad vision of training all the students and faculties in the field of machine learning. We, as a CSMSS, always work on improving and upgrading technology. So, organize this session. For this, we are very pleased to get guidance from Dr. Aniruddha Pandit, Vice Chancellor, Dr.
This
Babasaheb
conference will now be recorded.
Honorable Shri Ranjit Padmakar Rauji Mule, President CSMSS Sanstha, Aurangabad, and Honorable Shri Padmakar Rauji Mule, Secretary CSMSS Sanstha, Aurangabad. Also, I would like to thank Dr. Shankar B. Devsarkar, Professor and Institute Project Director TQ, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere, Dr. Shrikantji Deshmukh, Administrative Officer CSMSS Sanstha, Aurangabad, and Dr. Ulhas B. Shinde, Principal CSMSS Chhatrapati Shahu College of Engineering, Aurangabad, for their guidance and suggestions to improve the session. Also would like to thank Dr. Ajay V. Deshmukh, Director, Center for Industrial Mathematics, Bhaskaracharya Pratishthan, Pune, and Dr. Devendra Bhuyar, Head Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering Department, CSMSS Chhatrapati Shahu College of Engineering, Aurangabad, which has guided us timely to make necessary improvement in the session. So now I request Dr. Devendra Bhuyar sir to kindly preamble the session.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Respected dignitaries, on behalf of CSMS Chhatrapati Shahu College of Engineering and Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering, I, Devendra Bhuyar, welcome all the participants for online short-term training program on machine learning using Python, organized by Department of Electronics and Telecommunication, CSMS Chhatrapati Shahu College of Engineering, and Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere, funded by TQ3. As we know that it is the core, machine learning creates a useful model or program by autonomously testing many solutions against the available data and finding the best solution for the problem. This means machine learning is great at solving problem at the extremely labor incentive for humans. It can inform decisions and making predictions about the complex topic in efficiently and reliable way. Machine learning refer to a group of techniques used by data scientists that allow computer to learn from data. These techniques produce results that perform all and well without programming explicit rules. Data science and machine learning is the most demandable approach in today's technological field all over the world. Google is doing research to make it easier to understand how neural network thinks. However, this work will need to go further before it can be addressed data bias and the other ethical issues with machine learning. Machine learning algorithm can analyze thousands of data sources simultaneously, something that human threads cannot be possibly achieve. Some of the application of data science are at fraud and risk detection, healthcare, internet, search, targeting, and targeted advertising also. Website recommendation for the advanced image recognition, speech recognition, airline routing, planning, gramming, and augmented reality. I am not taking much of time with this. I will also welcome once again for all the participants, and thank you very much for all for joining this program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Dr. Ulhas B. Shinde, Principal, CSMSS Chhatrapati Shahu College of Engineering and Executive Council Member of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere, and former Dean of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad, to kindly say few words about this program.
I am audible? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome all participants for online short-term training program on machine learning using Python, organized by Department of Electronics Telecommunication Engineering, CSMS Chhatrapati Shahu College of Engineering, Aurangabad, in collaboration with Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere, Raigad, funded by TQ3. As we know that how machine learning is important in the field of artificial intelligence and data science. And these are the most emerging area in the field of emerging and technology nowadays. For this short-term training program, first I am very much thankful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Pandit Sir, then TQ in charge, Dr. S.B. Devsarkar Sir, then Program Chief Guest, Dr. Ajay Deshmukh Sir, then all the speakers, experts, those who are guided for this STTP, one of them for today's session, Dr. Tushar Deshmukh, Head of the Department, Dr. Devendra Bhuyar, all faculty members, once again, thanks to all of you, all the participants. Now this is an emerging area but this could be possible because of only Python. Python offers concise, and readable code, while complex algorithms and versatile workflows stand behind machine learning and artificial intelligence. Python's simplicity allows developer to write reliable system. Security threats in finance are increasing along with the growing number of transactions, users, and third-party integrations. And machine learning algorithms are excellent at detecting the frauds. Banks and insurance companies have a large number of historical consumer data, so they can use these entries to train machine learning models. Alternatively, they can leverage data sets generated by large telecom or utility companies. Almost every company, few of them are Amazon, Flipkart, Google, IBM, Infosys, Microsoft, use data science and machine learning algorithms. The artificial intelligence and data science is changing the nature of almost everything which is connected to human life, like employment, economy, communication, and security. Astronomy, gaming, finance, data security, social media, travel and transport, automotive industry, robotics, entertainment, agriculture, e-commerce, and healthcare, etc. And nowadays, in this pandemic situation for COVID, huge use of artificial intelligence in healthcare also. Machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science is positioned at the core of the next generation software technologies in the market. I congratulate to Electronics and Telecommunication Department of CSMS Chhatrapati Shahu College of Engineering, and thank you to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere, to give such a platform for the participants to learn new things in this emerging technology era. And I'm also thanks to our management. They give the platform to the participants and our students and the faculty. So enhance skills related to machine learning using Python in artificial intelligence and data science. And best of luck to all of the participants. And once again, I'm thanks to Dr. S.B. Devsarkar sir and the Ajay Deshmukh sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Your guidance will motivate us every time. Now, I introduce our today's program guest, Dr. Ajay Deshmukh, sir. His work as a director, Center for Industrial Mathematics and Independent Director, Affordable Robotics Automation, Pune. Over a period of more than 2 decades, Dr. Ajay has offered customized training courses to multinational industries and public sector units on diversified specialized topics. So I request Dr. Ajay Deshmukh sir to share his words.
Very good afternoon, all of you. Specifically, I'm thankful to the college, Chhatrapati Shahu College of Engineering, the management and principal, Dr. Ullas Shinde sir, and Jawar sir, and all the other coordinators. A lot of effort. In fact, the course is designed to be very attractive for faculty members. Implemented in other college also for 75 hours. So the speakers who are going to conduct this, specifically Tushar Deshmukh and Rishikesh, very much expert, and they are our adjunct and invited faculty always to Bhaskaracharya Pratishthan. So this is how mathematics can go into industry, and specifically our efforts are to give a lot of deep insight into the mathematical applications, statistics, machine learning, deep learning, AI, to all the faculty members from different disciplines. I'm really thankful to Boyer sir for taking so much of interest and creating such a wonderful platform with the permission of their management and principal Ullas Shinde sir. I'm really happy that this program is happening and today it has started. And for 15 to 18 hours, there will be some other special sessions also till the end of this program over a period of 5 days. So I really wish all the best to the participants, faculty members, and the organizers of this program. Maybe if I get chance, I will again come for some interactive session at right point of time. So today, 4 programs are getting inaugurated. In the morning, we had inauguration of program on nuclear science and technology at Rajiv Gandhi College of Engineering Research, Chandrapur. And now this is the second inaugural. The third inaugural had already happened in Satara around 10:11, and I presented session also on magnetic resonance imaging. And in the afternoon, again another college is going to have inaugural at Nanded, Matusri College of Engineering. So 4 programs, total 15 programs have been organized in this span of 2 weeks. So that is really great that from everywhere we are getting very good response. So thank you, organizers. Thank you, Dr. Shinde sir and Boyer sir and Zawar sir. Thank you all of you. Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, sir. So, dear participants, the training will be of 6 days, and you have the training schedule already with you. Now, I would like to introduce our today's resource person, Dr. Tushar Deshmukh. He's completed his PhD in computer science, working with the Ferguson College for more than 10 years, qualified Maharashtra State exam. He is an IBM certified trainer, conducted various workshops and FDPs for Python and machine learning. Also conducted workshop on ICT for teaching and non-teaching staff of different schools and colleges. His plan evaluate and revise curricula course, content course material and method of instruction. Is motivated students through in-depth lecture and discussion. Now I hand over the mic to Dr. Tushar Deshmukh sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Shahu College of Engineering and Dr. Ajay Deshmukh for giving me this opportunity to be the resource person at this particular session. And I'm also glad that this initiative is very much important because, as everyone has discussed, Dr. Shinde has mentioned the importance of data science in a day-to-day life, and that is being very true. I would say that nowadays there is no domain, no field is left over where data science has not touched. There is no remarkable aspects where we can see machine learning has not played any kind of a role. So if it is the scenario, then we shouldn't be back, right? And that is the reason I would like to congratulate all you people who are turning their fates with this machine learning. And believe me, once you get interest in it, you develop your interest in it, you will find that this field is not only easy, but it is very interesting, and you will find various applications which are untouched at this moment, but still there is a scope that you can find the application might be respected to your particular domain, right? How I could say so? Because I got n number of examples, right? And that is the reason we are having this Python and machine learning club together, right? So I will give a simple example before starting our today's session. This particular incidence is a true incidence from USA, and this is related to the advertisement domain. Now, why I'm telling you, I'm going to just discuss how deftly this particular field has been touching us, right? So in USA, particularly in a California area, there was a couple and who were living with their only daughter. One of the fine day, when the father of this particular house opened his door to receive the newspaper, he find that there is an advertisement in it. It was a pamphlet kind of a thing, and which advertises the pregnancy related stuff. So this father was confused, and he directly reached to the contact address where from this particular pamphlet has been come into the newspaper. The store owner welcomed this particular person and said, "Ki, how I can help you?" Then the father of this home said, "Ki, I'm surprised that why you have sent my place. Because we are an older couple and our only child, my daughter, is still too young to go through all these products. So I guess ki you have made a mistake." Then that store owner apologizes. He said, "Sir, it's my fault. I beg your pardon. I will make sure ki hereafter such things will not happen with you." So happily, the father comes back at home. Maybe after 2 or 3 months, once again, the same father visited the same supermarket once again. It was evening time, and that supermarket was about to shut down. And this father asked the owner, Ki, "Can I have your 2 minutes?" Then, surprised, the owner said, Ki, "Yes, how can I help you?" He said, "I'm not going to sue you, but I want information." Huh? He said, "Yes, sir, what I can help you?" Then he said, Ki, "Even though we are the parents of our daughter, we never reached to this conclusion that my daughter would be pregnant, not even her mother. But you, how do you have that particular guts feeling that my daughter is pregnant? Because you have sent us a pamphlet related to the pregnancy related stuff. So how this thing happens?" So that owner explains the entire story. He said, "Sir, our store is having different sections, and whoever person comes to our store, and if he or she spends some time period in a particular section, it is a conclusion that he or she is interested in that particular section. It might be possible that your daughter on that particular day might have spent more than 1 minute in the pregnancy related stuffs, and that's the reason our camera might have captured her with the ID. We can receive your address. It's in US, this is a common thing. Everyone is having a common ID, and with the common ID, every detail can be fetched. And from that particular information, this particular advertisement pamphlet might have reached you. A simple story. But what we can take from this, it means that how close by this machine learning has reached us. Only clue was that particular girl spent more than 1 minute in a particular section of a supermarket, and that is the reason she becomes a prospectus for purchasing that particular medical stuff. Surprise. But this now onwards can't be taken as a surprise, because this has come into the real life. This is no more myths. We can see everywhere machine learning and data science has come, and very soon it's spreading its weight. If it is the scenario, do we want to be as idle as the father of the story? No, because we are the teachers, we are the students who are working in the field of technology. So how we can be not aware of this particular technology? And importantly, though we are saying this data science, but this science can be seen everywhere. In a Ferguson College, Department of Psychology or art stream is running this particular course called data science in a psychology. They are trying to see the threats, or they are trying to see the patterns in all particular field of psychology. If it is so, why we could be back? Huh? And that is the reason I have congratulated you that you have taken a very good decision to make your hand dirty with this data science, right? Now you might be thinking about why Python, right? The reason is but obvious, right? First thing we have to understand that this Python language is not a very old language. It has abrupted around in 1991, right? There was a guy called Guido van Rossum, and he developed this particular language using C language, right? And he think that this particular language would be very helpful for all those people who don't know about computers, who don't know about computer science, who don't know what programming is. So the design and functionality of the language is made in such a way that this language is supposed to be the simplest programming language ever existed, right? You may ask why this name Python might have given. Van has picked this name because he was very interested in a TV show at that time, and it was called as a Monty's Python's Flying Circus. This was the name of a TV show, and he has picked this Python name from that TV serial, right? So there is no such great history about it. But importantly, why we are thinking about Python is, first thing, it's easy to understand, easy to learn. When we are calling something as a language, we must understand that there might be thousands of words which makes the language. But thankfully, Python got very little set of words. And that is the reason we don't need to remember lot many things. Secondly, when we say language, it must follow some syntax, some grammar. Thankfully, Python didn't focus on the grammar. It focuses on usability, right? Third thing, it is open source language. Open source language means you don't need any kind of a license or something like to use this language. But open source means not only free language. Open source has various meanings of it, right? And the first important meaning is, of course, free, right?
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Have you shared any slides, sir? It is not visible.
No, not
yes.
yet, not yet.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So this open source has an important meaning. It means that all the information related to language, all the coding made in this particular language, all the libraries that develops this particular language is available for the user. Then what's the great thing? The great thing is that, look, how something is becoming more better when more and more people contribute in it. In 1991, Van has developed this particular language, but thereafter what happens is that everyone who is using this language can see what Van has written. Everyone could think about, अरे Van ने ये कैसे किया होगा, because the code was available, and that is the reason everyone could peep into the language and could see how this particular thing has been made, right? And thereafter, everyone in the society who is using this Python language contributed in his or her own way. So still I don't get it. Let me be very simple. Suppose I'm an electronics engineer. I find that there are various functions available in a Python language, but still there is no function which can simulate IC use. I have designed a new IC and I'm about to check whether this IC would work well or not. So such simulation, for example, not available in a Python. So what I could do, I could write a program, I could write a code which could simulate the new IC, right? So I find that this particular program is working well. I find that this program is doing well. So what I will do, I will contribute this particular program, this particular code as my share towards the society. So what will happen? Apart from Shahu College Engineering, say there is some college in Ratnagiri called Finolex College of Engineering. So the person who is sitting at a Finolex college may use the function, the code which you have designed, you have developed. But sir, then how it would help me? everyone is using my code, so they are getting benefited. मुझे क्या फायदा होगा अगर मैं अपना कोड शेयर करूंगा तो? But you know how society works. It's a give and take relationship, right? Whatever Van has designed in 1991, he had shared it for the public freely. If he could share the entire language for free, can't we share a simple library? Can't we share a simple function towards the society? And this is how, with this particular thought process, with this holy concept, Python language go on increasing, go on developing, go on maturing. And that is the reason today Python becomes world's most popular language. And if you could see the span of popularity, it reached to its maturity level at a very early stage. And one of the best cause of reaching to its maturity or its fruitfulness quality is its open source. Everyone contributes something to that particular language. And that is how the language becomes more and more easier. There were even another reasons why Python become important or famous. One of the reason is a platform independent. What was happening in a previous era was, suppose I'm having a machine which runs on a Linux operating system and you runs on a Windows operating system. Someone is using Apple with a Mac. So every one of us using a different operating system. Our configuration for the machines might be different. You might be using P4, I'm using Intel i7 generation. So if these things are different, how do you expect the same code will run and produce the same output everywhere? This was not possible in earlier eras. But Python is said to be platform independent. Platform independent itself means that your Python code will run on any of the machine and will produce the same output irrespective of what operating system you are using. So does it mean that if I'm running my Python code on my desktop and if I'm running my code on my smartphone, the output would be same? Yes, that is mean by platform independent. Right? So because of this n number of reasons, what is happening is Python is becoming more and more popular. But this popularity is not only related to Python. What happens is that Python comes up with n number of different libraries. Now, what is the library? Whatever we require, suppose I have done a particular code related to finding the square root of a number. Now, I have done a mathematical formulation and I'm successful in calculating the square root of a given number. Now what I will do, I will put this particular function in a particular folder. I call this as a library, and I will make it possible that every mathematics related function would be in the same directory, so that whenever someone else will require that particular function for finding the square root of a given number, he would get an idea where I will search that function. That particular problems becomes easy because he know where to search it. Where to search it? In a directory called mathematics, because these are the mathematics related function. If there are some machine related function, machine learning related function, they would be kept in some other directory. If there are some functions which are related to displaying or visualizing the graphs and all those things, there would be another library. With this compartmentalization, the things becomes very easy to trace out. Where to search this problem has been easily broken down. And even, you know, in our libraries, even it is arranged in the same fashion. All electronics related books would be in a particular compartment. All the mathematics related book would be in some cells. So we organize in the same fashion, right? The next thing is that when we are thinking about Python, other languages were a little bit stubborn. Means whenever you are using any kind of a variable, for the rest of the languages, it was made compulsory that you should be very strict. You should declare the function, you should declare the variable, and then only you have to use it. Means introduction to the variables were an important part. And that is the reason I have to think in advance what kind of a variable I'm using, what kind of a variable I may need in the near future. I have to think before I start writing the code. But if you look at everybody's behavior, we don't think too much in advance. Rather, our behavior is on a need, on a go basis, right? Means I don't think it in advance. Whenever I need it, I may use that particular variable. This is the general tendency. And this particular tendency has been fascinated by Python, right? So you don't require any variable to be declared in advance. You can declare the variable as and when needed, right? So you don't carry the burden. Why I might have declared the variable I? You don't need to think about it. When needed, you declare it. So it would be very fresh object, right? So these are the things which makes Python more and more easy, right? There are even more features, but let's discuss them as and when needed. Like scalable. Now, what do we mean by scalable? What happens is that when your program or when your code becomes scalable, when we can say that it can be moved from one hardware to another hardware, and even though I put it on another hardware, it can take the advantages of all that flexibility which is available there. Sir, I don't get it. Let me be very clear. Suppose I have reserved a train ticket of a second class, right? But somehow I don't know what happens. I was auto promoted. There was an option when I was reserving the ticket. There was an option, do you want to get auto promoted? And I have clicked yes. And my ticket gets promoted to AC class, AC second class. Now, instead of using sleeper second class, now I'm promoted to AC second class. I reached there, right? But when I reached there, if I couldn't use the advantage of that particular environment, if I couldn't take the advantage of the second class AC, if I'm still behaving as if I'm sitting in a second class sleeping coach, then there is no use of a promotion, right? Scalability discuss this particular issue. When you are moved from one hardware to another hardware, you could take advantage of a new hardware. If you are still restricting yourself with the limitations, then there is no use of a promoting. You are not scalable. That's what it means, right? Suppose already I was having only 2 GB of a memory, right? Now what happens is that I have upgraded my machine. Now I'm having 8 GB of a memory. But what my program is doing? My program is not able to utilize the extra memory now I'm having. Then in that scenario, this particular program can't say to be scalable. Thankfully, Python is scalable. It means it can take the advantages of a new language, new hardware, new environment, right? Second thing, what we mean to say is that Python they are using a word called batteries included, right? Most of the toys are having this particular sentence, batteries included. In the similar fashion, Python has already mentioned that batteries included. What does this mean? This means that Python already consists of several small applications, and they are available for the programmers. You don't need to think about whether this code will work or not. You don't need to think about whether this will work or not. You don't need to think about how I'm going to maintain this particular applications, right? Everyone will be taken care by Python, and you can readily use all those applications, all those small functions which are not by you, but still you are given access to use all those applications. So, matlab, for example, there is a library called SYMPY, SYMPY, right? So whatever algebra you require, all those algebra related functions are readily available in this particular library. This folder got all the information, all the functionality, all the applications related to computer algebra system. So what I need to do, I don't need to write it from a scratch. But sir, is it okay that we should use someone else's code? Means I got the capability, I can write my own code, then why I should take someone else's code? Great question. But in that sense, you have to ask that everywhere we are doing the same thing. Suppose I'm civil engineer, I don't bake my own bricks, rather I purchase it from someone else. I'm an electronic engineer, I do not try to have the resistor manufacturing company. I purchase those resistors from some third party vendor. I don't create it, I don't develop it. I just order, I want a 3 ohms resistor and I purchase it. That's it. But using someone else's application, using someone else's program, what I could do, I could design my programs, my applications in a more better way. I can think about specificness instead of doing all the small tasks and wasting my time, right? So it's okay, always okay to use someone else libraries, right? It will save a lot of your time. Thirdly, Python is said to be extensible language. What does this mean? Pythons are given with various flavors, right? What does this mean? Suppose from you, someone and me, we are having a collaboration and we are thinking that let's design a small application. But what is the problem? You don't know Python, I don't know Java. So what you have done, you have written the code in a Python and I have written the code in a Java. Now how these two languages which will interact with each other, right? There we mean to say extensible. Extensible means we can integrate 2 different codes and it can be have a one code may be executed in a Python. So that is, I'm calling it as a extensible. If you don't know Python, it's okay, you can write it in a Java or .NET, anywhere, and then I will migrate that code from your language to my Python language. This is possible, and that's why we are calling it as a extensible language, right? And in the similar fashion, Python allows other language to use their library, right? So this is a little bit introduction about Python. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm opening my Google Colab instance. Now let me tell you what Google Colab is. Google Colab is a web instance IDE for running the Python. And everyone in this machine world prefers either the Anaconda platform or this collaborative platform. The reason behind this is why I'm preferring this Google Colab over any other Python IDE. The reason behind this is I don't need to carry the burden of installing anything. So I don't understand. What I mean to say is that suppose I want to do a Python code, I want to do some machine learning. For that, what I will be needing? I will be needing to install Python, right? I have installed Python. But after some time, what I find is that I'm missing out a library for scientific computation. What I need to do? I have to install that libraries even. So every now and then, I have to install this and that. When I'm using this Google Colab, I am free not to carry any burden with me, right? I don't need to install anything on my machine, on my laptop. This is the first thing. Second thing is that as it is a cloud-based service, Even though in some of the scenario my laptop is not available, I'm in a college, I can use college machine and do wherever I have left yesterday. मैं वहीं से काम शुरू कर सकता हूं जहां पे मैंने कल काम बंद किया था, because this is available on a cloud, right? Third thing is that whenever there are more than one persons who would be doing this particular project, everyone can see the code where we are. And the fourth thing, which is more important thing, is that sometimes it may be necessary that our machine might not be a very smart machine. What I mean to say is that suppose I have purchased this particular machine when I was doing my graduation. So by that time, it is almost 5 to 6 years now. Now, whether the machine which I have purchased long back will be compatible in doing this machine learning. Sir, ऐसे क्यों कह रहे हो? The reason behind this is machine learning is all about dealing with the data, right? And in most of the scenario, the data is enormous. The data is huge. It might be possible that you may take lot amount of time downloading the data. It may be possible that the data which you are having with you is not compatible for your machine. I have found the scenarios that for particular algorithms in a machine learning, it may be possible that it may easily take 7 to 8 hours to run a particular algorithm and produce the desired output. What will happen if I'm using this Google Colab platform? First thing, it's a free. Second thing is that it is giving me all the virtual machine concept. What does this mean? I can decide here what I'm going to use. Here, I can use the hardware accelerators. I can use GPU. My machine is not equipped with any graphical processing unit, but I can use it. My machine doesn't have any TensorFlow processing unit. I can use it. And that is how I can make the program run fast using this Google Colab. And that's why I choose using this particular platform for running Python explicitly for machine learning, right? If I am doing Python for normal purpose, maybe addition of 2 numbers or something like that, you may not require Google Colab. You can use any platform. But when you would be using it for a machine learning, you need to accelerate the speed of the program execution. And that is the reason Google Colab will help you in a lot many manners, right? But sir, where from we will get this Google Colab? The things are quite easy. What you need to do is that you simply type on Google Colab and the things will be open for you. Here they are giving the first link, colab.research.google.com. Simply click this, and once you click this, you will get this particular instance. Now this is the general information they have given. What is a collaboratory, how to get started, and all those things. When you find time, please do read it. Now what we will be doing is that we are going to click this first menu option. It is called file, and I'm clicking new notebook. So I'm searching for a new notebook. What notebook is? Notebook is the interface given to me for writing the code, right? So why I need it? The reason behind this is I'm here to show you how easy this entire things are, right? You will find that this Python working is that simple that you can do anything as if you are using calculator or something like that. It is that easy, right? Like here, if I say 2 plus 3, and you can see here, this is the run statement. If I click this particular, you will get output as a file. So it is as easy as I'm doing some calculator sort of a thing. And that is the reason Python is achieving towards its success. Right? You have to think only what you want to do. And the things, the syntax, the way of using it becomes very much easier. Right? So this is why Python is becoming more and more popular. Right? So you just need to think what you want to do. 2 into 3, and it will say what it is. So I run this and it will show me 6. So it is as easy as this, right? Secondly, now suppose I have executed this and now I want to have another instance of it. What you can do is that here you can mention what you want next cell as a. Are you going to code something or are you going to document something? So when I click text, it gives me a text interface. And you can write the comments related to what you are doing. I'm practicing. Something like this. And if you want a code section, if you want to do some Python, you can click on a code and it will give you the code instance. Right? If you know about other languages, then in other languages, whenever you are declaring some kind of a variable, you need to mention its data type. Integer a is equals to 10. What does this mean? I'm making my machine aware that I am going to declare a variable whose value is 10 and its type is an integer, right? Fortunately, Python don't require this thing. You can directly mention a is equals to 10, and then when you say a, it will display the value which is residing inside this particular variable, and it will display me 10. What does this mean? This does mean that you don't need to declare the variable. You can, as and when required, you can directly use it. And that is why Python is becoming more and more easy, right? So when we are talking about the data types of a Python, as we are saying, we are declaring variables and all those things. So Python generally has various types of a data, right? For example, there is a variable type called numerical data. So numerical data can be seen as 3 different ways, right? The first can be integer type of a data. So what is the integer type of a data? Integer type of a data means the data which consists of number, but it doesn't have any decimal point or fractional part in it. So, but obvious, we require sometimes another type of a data which is said to be float. Now, what is a float type of a data? Float type of a data means the number which consists of a fractional part and a decimal number. So if I need to write examples, I can say example would be 3 is an integer, 100 is an integer, -2 is an integer, because all these numbers are the numbers, but they don't have a decimal point or a fractional part in it. Right? But when I'm talking about float, I have mentioned that it consists of a decimal point and a fractional part. 122.34. So this 0.34 is the fraction it carries, right? 34.2, something like this we can mention. So everything which carries a decimal point and a fractional part can be said as a float numeric type of a data, right? Then there is another type of a data which is said to be complex data. Right? Those who are from the world of mathematics, they might be aware that complex numbers are those numbers which consist of imaginary part and real part and all those things. Right? So whenever you require such kind of a data, complex is the very suitable data type to you. Its example could be, or its format could be as simple as we all know, a plus bj, right? Where a and b can be any variable, or we can write it very specifically 2 plus 3j. It's a complex number, right? So how to declare these variables, or how we can use this variable? It's quite simple. For example, here, if I'm mentioning a variable a equals to 10, b equals to 20, and then I say c is equals to a plus b and c. So what will happen when I execute this particular code? It will consider the value of 10 to variable a, it will consider the value of 20 to b, and then I have said this particular operator is called assignment operator. Whatever I'm assigning to the left hand side, is depend upon what is at the right hand side, right? So here I'm having a plus b, so it will calculate a plus b, that is 10 plus 20, and the value 30 would get assigned to the left hand side. What we have written at the left hand side? C. So the value 30 would be assigned to the variable c, and when I say c, it will display me the value of that variable c. In the similar fashion, I can have a complex numbers with me. Suppose 2.3 plus 3.5j. 3.5j. This is first number. I'm having another number 1.2 plus 6.3j. And when I say create addition of these two, C1 plus C2, and then please display me the result. So I can do this. I mention J. And you can see the result now. The imaginary part are added separately and the real part is added separately. So that is how we can do the things very efficiently, right? So that's what we were talking about, that how easy it is, right? Apart from that, we are having another data type which you may require commonly. It's called Boolean data type, right? So what is a Boolean data type? Boolean data type means the data type which consists of only two possible values, true and false, right? But this can be represented with the help of a data type, right? So you can mention A is equals to true. It is like this. Okay. So whenever you require, you can use such kind of a data types. Okay. So you might have understand that how easy it is. First thing, you don't need to mention the type of the data. Depending upon what you are assigning, the variable will become of that particular type. What does this mean? If I assign integer to a variable, the variable becomes integer type of a variable. If I assign a float type of a data, then that particular variable will become the float type. It is as simple as this, right? Then what are the different operators that are available in a Python, right? So all the arithmetic operator which we are aware of are available here. What I mean to say is that A is equals to 10 and B is equals to 20. So of course we have seen that A plus B is there, right? I have created a text section. Instead I need a code section. A equals to 10, B equals to 20, and then you can mention A plus B, right? So what I have used an operator which is adding two operands. A and B are the operands, and I have performed the addition of it. In the similar fashion, subtraction is there, multiplication is there, division is there, right? But here Python has a very different kind of operator which you would like to see. It is called integer division operator, right? For example, suppose my first number is 15 and second number is 2. Now when I divide this, what will happen? It will display me the division 15 by 2, 7.5. Every one of us knows. But what happens is that sometimes we require integer division only, right? For integer division, Python has introduced another kind of variable. This is called, sorry, another kind of operator. This is called integer division. There are two slashes which is used for integer division. When I run this, you can see it's an integer division. Integer division means it will not consider the fractional part, right? It will not consider the fractional part. It will not consider the decimal and all those things. So it is very easy to see the difference when I say A by B, the normal division, and A integer division. So these things can be easily manipulated when we are saying this, right? In a similar fashion, we are having an exponential operator. How to use this exponential operator? Exponential operator means 2 star. When I say A 2 star B, it means that I'm using the exponential power value. When I run this, 15 raised to 2, whatever would be there, it will be going to display, right? So these are all arithmetic operator. There is another important arithmetic operator which is called modulus operator. What this modulus operator will do? This modulus operator will return me remainder after division. When I divide 15 by 2, I know it would be a division of a 7 and there would be a remainder of a 1. When I say A mod B, it will return me 1 as answer, right? So this is called modulus operator. This modulus operator is helpful for finding the remainder of a division, right? Great. And so what if we have used more than one operators? It may be possible that our equation might have more than one operators. For example, I may have such a kind of a equation that B is equals to 1 plus 2 into 3, then maybe raised into 3 raised to 2, right? Then I want an integer division with a 2 and plus 3. Now here I could see there are more than one operator. We are having addition operator, multiplication operator, raised to operator, division operator. So which operation it will perform first? So stick up to the basic, that is the basic rule, BODMAS rule, right? First it will try to solve bracket, then whatever precedence we come to know, it will follow the same thing, right? Division, multiplication, addition, subtraction, all those things. So the thing, as I told you, it would be sticking up to the basic. That is the most important part. Nothing good. So what will happen here? 1 plus 2, 3 will be calculated first, right? Then raised to operator will be the second one. So how it will look like? If I have to write this, I will create a text model of it. How the things would be looking like. At a first goal, it will be 3 into 3, 2, 10, 2 plus 3. This would be the first step. What will happen at a second step? Sorry, this is 2, I guess. What will happen at a second step? It will do 3 into. Now power function will be evaluated first. 10, 2 plus 3. Right? Then what will happen? Multiplication. 3 into 9, 27. 2 plus 3. Next, it would be division. It's an integer division, 27, integer division 2. So 13 plus 3. And lastly, what we get? 60. So this is our expected result. And if I run this, I haven't displayed the thing. So I will say B. Now it will show me the result it has carried into the variable 60. So the things which we have computed manually and the things which is given by Python, both are same. And that's why I'm saying it still follows the BODMAS rule. Right? Great. So by the time I'm moving to the next thing, let me ask you, okay, is it okay? Are we going good? Whenever you find that there are any queries, any doubts, anything which you want me to ask, you can interrupt me and ask. It's not like that you have to wait until the end of a session or something like that. Whenever you find that something is being difficult for you to understand, please let me know. I will try to answer your questions.
No, sir.
Right?
No, sir.
So, great. Great.
Sir, last
Even please let me know.
Sir, last numerical समजलं. Sir,
ओके,
hello
मी
sir.
पुन्हा सांगतो. हा बोला. मी लास्ट न्यूमरिक पुन्हा एकदा
Numerical
सांगण्याचा
लक्षात
प्रयत्न करतो. ओके, सो इथे काय होतं मी तुम्हाला सांगतो. आपण सुरुवातीला म्हणालो तसं की जेव्हा एकापेक्षा जास्ती ऑपरेटर येतात, at that moment what we need to do is that we have to stick up for the BODMAS rule. ब्रॅकेट ऑफ डिव्हिजन, मल्टिप्लिकेशन, ऍडिशन अँड सबट्रॅक्शन. यात आपल्याला आणखी एक ऍड करावं लागतं. इथे आहे पॉवर रेस्ट टू समथिंग. हा नियम लक्षात ठेवायचा. त्याच्या प्रायोरिटीज ह्या प्री डिसाइडेड आहेत, आपण काही नाही करू शकत. त्यामुळेच होतं कसं, इथे जेव्हा मला हे इक्वेशन देण्यात आलं, सो ब्रॅकेट नीड्स टू बी सॉल्व फर्स्ट. मग आता ब्रॅकेट सॉल्व केलं की काय होईल, 1 + 2 3. मग मी हे फक्त 3 सॉल्व करून घेतलं, बाकीचं सगळं जसंच्या तसं ठेवलेलं आहे. आय एम नॉट चेंजिंग इट, राईट. सो 3⁻², हे डबल स्टार म्हणजे रेस टू 3चा दुसरा घात काढायचा आहे आपल्याला, 3⁻². सो आय एम कीपिंग इट ॲज इट इज. दिस डबल स्लॅश मीन्स इंटिजर डिव्हिजन. डिवाइड द नंबर विथ 2, but don't consider the fractional part. This is what we mean to say, and this is addition. So at a first step, I have solved the brackets. After solving the brackets, what I get, 1 + 2 is a 3. So 3 is here. I have written as it is, right? So once bracket gets solved, the second thing is that I need to think about whether I got any power operator there. Yes, we are having a power. 2 star means power. So here I need to find out 3⁻². So 3⁻² means 9. So 3 × 9. Rest of the things I'm keeping as it is. I'm doing only one computation at a given time. एकापेक्षा जास्त आपल्याला करायचंच नाहीये. सो 3⁻² हे सॉल्व्ह करून घेतलं. सर हेच का आधी सॉल्व्ह केलं? दिस इज मेअर रूल ऑफ अ मॅथमॅटिक्स. मॅथमॅटिक्स सांगतं की जेव्हा इक्वेशन मध्ये एकापेक्षा ऑपरेटर्स येतात, तेव्हा ते एका विशिष्ट पद्धतीनेच सोडवावे लागतात. आधी ब्रॅकेट सॉल्व्ह करून घ्यायचे, मग पॉवर फंक्शन सॉल्व्ह करून घ्यायचे, मग मल्टिप्लिकेशन, मग डिव्हिजन, मग ऍडिशन, मग सबट्रॅक्शन. हे एका विशिष्ट पद्धतीतच झालं पाहिजे. म्हणून मग आपण हे आधी पॉवर काढून घेतलं. सो इथे फक्त 9 लिहिलंय, बाकी इक्वेशन ॲज इट इज, राईट. नेक्स्ट प्रायोरिटी कुणाला मिळते, तर मल्टिप्लिकेशनला. In most of the cases, multiplication and division enjoys equal priority. If it is the scenario, try to solve it from left hand side. Now here multiplication is also there, division is also there, so we will try to solve it from a left hand side. So 3 × 9, what we get, 27, right? So we got 27. Then now addition and division, who will enjoy more priority? Of course division. So 27/2, but this is not a normal division. 2 slash it म्हणजे काय, it's a integer division, so which will not consider the floating point. So 27/2, it will give me 13. 13 पॉइंट काहीतरी येत असतं नॉर्मल डिव्हिजन मध्ये. 13.5 येणं अपेक्षित होतं, पण इथे आपण इंटिजर डिव्हिजन करत असल्यामुळे आता तो पॉइंट घेणारच नाही, फक्त 13 देईल. आणि सर्वात शेवटी काय, प्लस. सो 13 + 3 16, राईट. सो which operator enjoys equal priority? Multiplication, division, then modulus and floor division. All these operator enjoys equal priority. So it would be your choice how you would evaluate the when you find that there are more operators which enjoys the same priority. Like here, या केस मध्ये काय होतं, इथे मल्टिप्लिकेशन पण आहे आणि फ्लोर डिव्हिजन पण आहे. जर दोन्ही ऑपरेटर असतील तर काय करायचं, तर लेफ्ट कडून सॉल्व्ह करत यायचं. सो मल्टिप्लिकेशन आणि डिव्हिजन दोघांनाही सेम प्रायोरिटी आहे. सो व्हॉट आय शुड डू, आय शुड बी giving priority to the multiplication because I'm solving it from left hand side, right? And last priority is given to the assignment operator. सो हे सगळं कॅल्क्युलेशन झाल्याखेरीज तो हे वॉट एव्हर व्हॅल्यू इज जनरेटेड इट विल नॉट गोइंग टू असाइन इट टू द व्हेरिएबल डी. And that's why assignment operator is the last operator which will be performed. Now, when we are talking about this assignment operator is having a important thing. What we mean to say is that here when I'm writing a is equals to 0 and b is equals to 0, what happens? The value 0 is assigned to variable a and b. So it is okay if you write it like this. What does this mean? Both a and b should be made 0, right? It is always okay. So if I have to write more than one statement on the same line, it is also allowed. A is equals to 12. Then what you need to do is that you have to give a semicolon. B is equals to 13. In this way, you can write so can we write it in it is also possible. This particular thing is not available in any of the other language apart from Python. How to write it? A comma b is equals to 12 comma 13. Now what will happen here is that these values are respectively assigned to those variables. Means a will have a value of a 12 and b will have a value of a 13. So when I try to display it, print a comma b value of 12 and b will be having a value of 13, right? So this is how Python, why we are calling it as a simpler, because there are two separated by comma. After assignment it can see there are two values separated by comma, so they will be given to respective variables. A will have a value of 12, b will be having a value of 13. As simple as this, right? And as I told you, even it is possible. Yes.
सर जर डिव्हिजनच्या तिथे फक्त एकच स्लॅश असली तर इंटिजर डिव्हिजन आहे ती डेसिमल मध्ये येऊ शकतं का?
ती डेसिमल मध्ये. आता फॉर एक्झाम्पल हिअर इन्स्टेड ऑफ फ्लोट डिव्हिजन आपण जर इंटिजर डिव्हिजन घेतले तर याचा रिझल्ट निश्चित बदललेला असेल, तर 16.5 आहे. कारण इथे काय होणार आहे, हे 27/2 13 येण्याच्या ऐवजी इथे 13.5 येणार आणि 13.5 प्लस 3 दॅट इज 16.5 असा चेंज होईल. आणि आता इथे काय होणार आहे, प्रिंट a is equals to b, print b is equals to comma b. Now I am trying to display both the values separately, right? So I am writing a is equals to 1, b is equals to 1. Just for the sake of thing, this is called comment. When you press this hash symbol, it is comment. Whenever you give hash symbol, compiler will not try to execute those statements, right? Compiler आता या दोन स्टेटमेंट प्रिंटच्या वाचणारच नाही. मला माहिती आहे नुसतं a लिहिलं तरी प्रिंट होतं. मग आता इथे a ची व्हॅल्यू दाखवली जाईल, मी b लिहितो, मग आता a आणि b दोन्हीची व्हॅल्यू दाखवणं गरजेचं आहे. पण तुम्ही पाहाल इथे फक्त एकच व्हॅल्यू दाखवली जात आहे. व्हॉट एव्हर इज द लास्ट व्हॅल्यू it will be shown, right? I will try to be more specific. A is equals to 1 and I'm writing b is equals to 2. Now what I should be displaying 1 and 2, but it will display only 1, right? And that is the reason even though when I write simple variable it will display the value, but this value of a gets overwritten with the value of b. आणि त्यामुळे आपल्याला सर्वात शेवटी जी व्हॅल्यू असेल तीच दिसेल. And for the very same sake of a reason, I have used the statement called print. Now when I write this, what happens? दोन्ही स्टेटमेंट मुळे दोन्ही व्हॅल्यू आपल्याला दिसतील. A is equals to 1 and B is equals to 2. Right? So this is about your assignment operator. Another operator is there, we call it as a unary minus operator. So for example, if I say n is equals to -10, right? And then I say print -n. So whatever you expect, the same thing happens here. This minus, this operator, when it is used before any variable, the value gets negated. So -10 and -n. So negative negative becomes positive. So it will show you the positive result. Right? Good. So that is what we want to discuss. There are even more good operators we will try to see as and when we progress further. By this time, let's think about how this print statement is doing its task. Right? What happens is that this print function is made in a such a way that whatever you enclose the print statement with, it will display as it is. Suppose I have written hello inside it. Sorry. And I try to execute it. Whatever I enclosed in a double quotes or single quotes, it will display as it is on a screen. Right? Then, if I'm having more than one things, for example, print, first thing is hi, and second string may be hello. The things which are enclosed in a single quotation or double quotation are called string. So hi is a string, hello is a string. What is a string? String means a set of characters. Here I have used two characters, H and I. So as I have used more than one characters, it becomes a string. Now when I try to display this, what happens? Hi and hello, the things displayed on a screen. Right? Apart from this, what happens is that Python allows us to use some format specifiers and escape sequence character. What I mean to say is that suppose instead of two strings, we are having only one string. What would be the output? The output would be still same, hi, hello. But Python gives us /n as a new line character. When I write this, what happens? Hi तो पहले लाइन पे आ जाएगा, पण hello display करण्यासाठी तो दूसरी लाइन घेईल. का? Because in between these two operators, we have written a /n character. The /n character represents a new line character. So whenever you want that this line should be divided into more than one, you should use such sort of scenario. Right? /n सारखंच आपल्याकडे /t पण असतं, which indicates tab. So you will see hi and hello. In between these two, there is a tab. There is a space aligned in between these two. Right? Great. Now, suppose I'm having values. For example, I'm mentioning a comma b. I have created two variables and their values are 2 and 3 respectively. Right? Now, what I'm trying to do is that I will display the value of a and b. I'm writing a comma b and I display it. What happens? 2 and 3 are on a screen. Right? This print function is that smart that it allows to have different kind of a separator. आता 2 आणि 3 हे एकमेकापासून कसे सेपरेट केलेत? एका व्हाईट स्पेसनी सेपरेट केलेत. इफ यू वॉन्ट दॅट द सेपरेटर शुड बी समथिंग डिफरंट, फॉर एक्झाम्पल एका स्पेसच्या ऐवजी तुम्हाला आता 5 स्पेस हव्यात, 1 2 3 4 5. what you could do is that you have to write a keyword called sep stands for separator equals to जी स्ट्रिंग द्यायची आहे तुम्हाला ती द्या. मी इथे 5 स्पेसेस दिले and now you could see 2 and 3 in between there are 5 spaces. If you want to give comma in between these two, you can give comma. So 2 and 3 would be separated by comma. If you want to give dot 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 in between these two, You can give dot 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 in between these two, and 2 and 3 will be separated by comma, right? So this is the thing, separator. Suppose I'm having a print statement where I'm writing hello. I'm having another print statement, how are you, and I try to display it. What you could see, this hello and how are you are coming on a different line. If you don't want these things to come on a different line, what you could do is you can use the keyword end equals to, and then you could mention how do you want to end it. I want to end it with a space. Now see the output. Both the things are on the same line. Hello. Now this first print statement is coming to end. पहिलं print statement संपतंय, पण संपताना आपण त्याला काय वापर म्हटलंय, end it with a space. मग त्याने एक स्पेस घेतला आणि दुसरं प्रिंट स्टेटमेंट हाऊ आर यू इज डिस्प्लेड ऑन द सेम लाईन. त्याच लाईनवर तो डिस्प्ले करणार. मग असे आपल्याला सेपरेट एंड लाईन बदलता येतात का? हो. फॉर एक्झाम्पल मी जसं मगाशी तुम्हाला म्हणालो स्लॅश टी, आता काय होईल, खूप जास्त स्पेस येईल, राईट? किंवा तुम्हाला चार डॉट हवेत, हॅलो, 4 डॉट ने एंड होईल फर्स्ट प्रिंट स्टेटमेंट आणि नेक्स्ट प्रिंट स्टेटमेंट सेम लाईन वर येईल, राईट? सो दीज आर फ्यू ऑफ द थिंग्स which you have to consider, right? असंच फॉर्मॅटेड स्ट्रिंग आउटपुट पण आपल्याला करता येतं. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, दोज हु आर फ्रॉम द सी वर्ड, ज्यांनी सी कधीतरी शिकलंय त्यांना माहिती असेल, % इज फॉर इंटिजर, %s is for string, something like this. So suppose I'm having two variables, x is equals to 10. You might have guessed this is integer 2.3. This is a float, right? Now suppose I have to display it. How I could display it? Print x is equals to %d, because I have to display a integer. x मध्ये कुठली व्हॅल्यू आहे, इंटिजर व्हॅल्यू आहे, राईट? y मध्ये मात्र फ्लोट व्हॅल्यू आहे. सो आय वुड यूज %n, right? And then you need to write which two values you are going to display. I'm going to display the values of x and y, and then it will try to display the things. It will say x is 10 and y is 2.30000, right? हे असं करता येतं. जर तुम्हाला वाटत असेल की अरे हे 2.3 च्या नंतर खूपच झिरो आले, माझी खूप स्पेस वेस्ट होत आहे, then you can explicitly mention डेसिमल पॉइंट नंतर किती स्थळापर्यंत तुम्हाला ते दाखवायचंय. सो फॉर एक्झाम्पल, आय एम सेइंग ओनली शो अप टू 2 पॉइंट्स, आणि पहिलं डिजिट असतं किती स्पेसेस तुम्हाला ठेवायच्या. सो इफ आय एम सेइंग 8, व्हॉट डज दिस मीन? फॉर डिस्प्लेइंग y व्हेरिएबल 8 स्पेसेस रिझर्व कर, आणि त्या 8 स्पेसेस पैकी दाखवताना दशांश स्थळानंतर आफ्टर डेसिमल ओनली शो 2 प्लेसेस, राईट? आता पहा, आपण 8 जागा सोडल्या होत्या. इथे x नंतर पहा 10 कसं चिकटून आलेलं आहे, एका स्पेस नंतर आलेलं आहे, पण इथे y नंतर 2.3 खूप स्पेस नंतर आलं. का? कारण आपण 8 जागा रिझर्व केल्या होत्या आणि वापरल्यात किती? फक्त 4 जागा वापरल्यात. मग 4 जागेची रिकामी स्पेस इथे आपल्याला दिसते. ही जर आपण कमी केली, मी 5 करतो, आता थोडंसं 3.30 जवळ येणार, राईट? एकूण 5 जागा सांगितल्या आपण, 4 आपण वापरल्या, 1 रिकामी आहे. आणि हे 2 काय दाखवतं? हाऊ मेनी प्लेसेस यू वॉन्ट टू शो आफ्टर डेसिमल. इफ आय राईट हिअर 3, then you get the answer 2.300. If I write here 1, then it will show 2.3 only, right? So it is like that. What if I have to display string? So for string, we know we print %s. For example, name is equals to Priya, right? And then I will say print. What I have to print? I have to print sorry, name is equals to %s, and then where I have stored it in a variable called name. So it will display Priya on the screen. Once again, if you want to have some space to be assigned, so that is always doable. If I say 20s, so आता 20 स्पेसेस घेतल्या त्यांनी, त्यापैकी वापरल्यात किती? फक्त 5. प्रिया हे 5च अक्षरात मावतं, आणि then 15 आर द एम्प्टी स्पेस. पण सर हे खूप राईटला अलाइन झालं, मला लेफ्टला अलाइन करता येईल का? येईल. What you need to do is you need to write minus here. आता आपण 20 स्पेसेस दिल्यात. कशावरून दिल्यात? आय विल शो यू. प्रियासाठी किती स्पेसेस होत्या? 20. आपण लेफ्टला अलाइन केलं, सो प्रिया नंतर 15 स्पेसेस आणि मग हॅलो. आणि जर पॉझिटिव्ह 20 लिहिलं तर काय होईल? राईट. So this is called formatted output. Yeah. Okay. We come to know that how to print, but how to get input from the user. Right. Here I have decided name is equals to Priya, but somewhere there must be chance that I should ask. So for that, we are having a statement, or we are having a function called input. In this input, in a single quotes or double quote, you can mention whatever message you want to pass. Please enter your name, right? And when name enter karta hai, we have to store it somewhere. So I'm saying store it in a variable called n. And let's display it. Now when I execute this particular statement, you can see there is a box and it is waiting for me. आणि जोपर्यंत मी तिथे काही नाव टाकणार नाही तोपर्यंत हे असंच गोल फिरत राहील. राईट. सो लेट मी एंटर समथिंग हियर, Ramesh, and I press enter. Once I press enter, n मध्ये ती व्हॅल्यू स्टोअर झाली आणि मी नंतर त्याला म्हणालो n डिस्प्ले कर, तर ते डिस्प्ले झालं. राईट. सो दिस इज अबाउट स्ट्रिंग. So suppose I have to perform addition of 2 numbers. A simple program we will write. I will say n1 is equals to input, enter a number, n2 input, enter second number. आणि मग आपण n1 आणि n2 ची ऍडिशन डिस्प्ले करूया. Now when I execute this, I find something which is not which I want. मी पहिला नंबर एंटर करतो 2, मी दूसरा नंबर एंटर करतो 3, and then what I find, the addition is 23. The reason behind this is this input function is made in a such a way that it accepts only a integer value. याला नंबर्स घेताच येत नाहीत. जर असं असेल तर मग आपण काय करायचं? यू नीड टू कन्व्हर्ट. हा काय ऍक्सेप्ट करतो? फक्त स्ट्रिंग ऍक्सेप्ट करतो. हा, मग स्ट्रिंग नकोय मला, मला काय हवंय? इंटिजर हवंय. तर मला हे एक्सप्लिसिटली स्ट्रिंगला इंटिजर मध्ये कन्व्हर्ट करावं लागेल. INT लिहिलं की काय होणार? ते इंटिजर मध्ये कन्व्हर्ट होईल. इनपुट फंक्शन काय करतं? इट ऍक्सेप्ट्स अ स्ट्रिंग. व्हॉट आय वॉन्ट? I want an integer. That's why I have written whatever you get, please convert it into integer. And now the things are in the same fashion which I was expecting. 2 plus 3 is 5. I come to know whenever I have to convert it into integer, I have to write int. What if I have to convert it into float? Very simple. You have to write float. For example, a is equals to float. Convert the things into float. input enter radius. आता मला माहिती आहे रेडियस नेहमी याच्यात असणार आहे, फ्लोट मध्ये असणार आहे, म्हणून मग मी त्याला काय म्हटलं, फ्लोट मध्ये कन्वर्ट कर. घेताना तो कशी घेणार, स्ट्रिंग म्हणून घेणार, आणि नंतर तो कशात, फ्लोट मध्ये कन्वर्ट करेल आणि मग ए मध्ये स्टोअर करेल. अँड देन आय एम सेइंग डिस्प्ले ए, आणि मग ए स्क्रीनवर डिस्प्ले झालेलं आहे. राईट. सो दिस इज हाऊ वी हॅव टू यूज दिस input and print function, right? So before proceeding further, once again I may take a pause and ask you, are we doing good? Are we facing any problem, any questions, queries?
Sir, difference काय character आणि string मध्ये?
पायथन मध्ये कॅरेक्टर असं व्हेरिएबल नाहीच आहे. जेव्हा तुम्ही सिंगल लाईन हे घेता, फॉर एक्झाम्पल आता मी असं लिहिलं बी इज इक्वल्स टू एस, तर पायथनला असं स्पेसिफाय नाही करता येत की हे कॅरेक्टर आहे का स्ट्रिंग आहे. इट्स अ सिंगल लाईन कॅरेक्टर और सिंगल कॅरेक्टर स्ट्रिंग मीन्स कॅरेक्टर. बाकीच्या लँग्वेज मध्ये कसं असतं, कॅरेक्टर आणि स्ट्रिंग हे दोन वेगळे डेटा टाइप्स म्हणून वापरले जातात. पायथन मध्ये कॅरेक्टर आणि स्ट्रिंग असे दोन वेगळे डेटा टाइप्स नाही आहेत. जर सिंगल डिजिट दिलं तर तो कॅरेक्टर म्हणून कन्सिडर तुम्ही करू शकता, तो त्याला स्ट्रिंग म्हणूनच कन्सिडर करणार आहे. किंवा आता आपण थोड्याच वेळात पाहणार आहोत, ही स्ट्रिंग आहे आणि इफ आय से बी ऑफ 0, तर काय होईल, त्याचं फर्स्ट कॅरेक्टर जे आहे एस ते डिस्प्ले होईल. नाउ in that scenario, what is going to happen? Sorry is a string, and I am accessing one character. That's why it is showing me S. Right?
Yes.
एक स्ट्रिंगचं एक कॅरेक्टर घेतलं की कॅरेक्टर.
चालतंय सर. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Now what we have to see is we have to go for control statements. And the first control statement which we will be using is if, right? So what we will do, we will use a simple program to find out whether the given number is odd or even, right? So what I need to do that, for that I will say program to find out odd or even. So मला माहितीच नाही कुठला नंबर चेक करायचा, सो आय विल आस्क युजर x इज इक्वल्स टू इंटर इनपुट इंटर अ नंबर. दिस विल हेल्प युजर. काय करायचं ते कळतं. हा मेसेज कंपल्सरी नसतो, तुम्ही नुसतं इनपुट जरी लिहिलं तरी सुद्धा हे रन होतं, पण मग कळत नाही काय करायचं काय, राईट? सो आय विल डू हिअर. नुसता एक बॉक्स आला, मला कळणार नाही की मला नेम एंटर करायचंय, ऍड्रेस एंटर करायचा आहे, रोल नंबर एंटर करायचा आहे, काय करायचंय ते नाही कळत. सो दॅट इज द रिझन मी इथे एक्सप्लिसिटली लिहिणं अपेक्षित आहे. आता तो मी डब्ल्यू टाकलं, पण डब्ल्यू हे कॅरेक्टर आहे, डब्ल्यू इज अ स्ट्रिंग, ते इंटिजर मध्ये कन्व्हर्ट होऊ शकेल का? नाही होणार, मग त्यांनी एरर दिला. पण इथे जर व्यवस्थित मेसेज असता, प्लीज enter a number, then the things becomes very easy for me, because I come to know की अरे मला एक नंबर टाकायचा आहे बरं का. when I press 2 आता काहीच एरर नाही आहे, right? So that's what I'm saying, this is for user purpose, right? Then आता आपल्याला वापरायचं if statement. if काय करतं, तर if accepts a condition and check whether that condition is true or not. Right? For example, I'm saying x mod 2 is 0. Whenever you are using if is a keyword followed by a condition. आता या कंडिशन मध्ये आपण काय म्हटलंय, x mod 2, म्हणजे दिलेला जो नंबर आहे त्याला 2 नी जर मी भागाकार केला, व्हेन आय डिव्हाइड द गिव्हन नंबर विथ 2, तर व्हॉट आय वॉन्ट, रिमाइंडर 0 उरतो का हे चेक कर. बाकी 0 उरली याचा अर्थ काय, द नंबर इज इव्हन. बट इफ देअर इज अ नॉन झिरो रिमाइंडर, इट डज मीन्स द नंबर इज नॉट इव्हन. बरोबर. सो प्रिंट, वी विल गिव्ह द मेसेज x is even number. So let's do it. आता मी पहिल्यांदा नंबर एंटर करतोय 24. आय नो व्हेन आय डिवाइड 24 by 2, मग तो पूर्ण भाग जाणार आहे. इट्स अ कंप्लीट डिव्हिजन. अँड व्हेन एव्हर देअर इज अ कंप्लीट डिव्हिजन, द रिमाइंडर वुड बी 0. And that's why I know 24 is an even number and I get the same message. Now, when this print statement will execute, this print statement will execute only and only if this condition is true. This condition is true म्हणजे काय, जेव्हा जेव्हा x ला 2 नी भागाकार केल्यानंतर बाकी 0 येईल तरच हे मेसेज डिस्प्ले होईल, अदरवाइज होणार नाही. राईट. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, आता आपण 24 च्या ऐवजी 23 देऊया. आय नो व्हेन आय डिव्हाइड 23 by 2, 12चा भाग जातो, पण देअर इज अ रिमाइंडर ऑफ 1. इन दॅट सिनारिओ नथिंग विल हॅपन. वाय? कारण आपण ह्या प्रिंट एक्झिक्युशनला एक कंडिशन लावून टाकली आहे. तुम्ही जाहिरातीत पाहत असाल, देअर इज अ स्टार मार्क. सो इन द सिमिलर फॅशन वी हॅव केप्ट अ स्टार मार्क हिअर. ही प्रिंट स्टेटमेंट कधी एक्झिक्यूट करायची आहे? You have to execute this print statement only and only if this condition is true. म्हणजे x ला पूर्ण भाग गेला 2 नी तरच हे एक्झिक्यूट कर, अदरवाइज करू नको. पण जर 2 नी भाग गेला नाही याचा अर्थ काय? याचा अर्थ तो नंबर ऑड आहे. पण मग ते कुठे लिहायचं? Here. You have to mention else. Else म्हणजे काय? असं नसेल तर. असं नसेल तर म्हणजे कसं? x ला 2 नी भाग गेला नाही तर means else. इथे काय लिहायचंय? Print x is odd number. I execute this. Now when I press 23, it will say 23 is an odd number. And when I say 34, it says 34 is an even number. Right? So everything is dependent upon this condition. If the condition is true, this will execute. If the condition is false, this will execute. पण दोन्ही execute होतील का? No, this is never possible. Either you are going to execute if part or you are going to execute the else part. But both part are never possibly executes. It is never possible. Right? Either if will execute or else will execute. Right? So can we use more than one conditions? Yes, of course. For example, I will copy this to just save the time. Nothing great. Now I will say, please enter your marks. Right. Pen. Now I know the condition that if I'm scoring, if my marks, where I have stored my marks in a variable x, if my marks are more than 60 and my marks are less than 75, I can say first class. Right? So here I have employed two conditions. काय कंडिशन आहे? माझे मार्क्स 60 किंवा 60 पेक्षा जास्ती हवेत and त्याच वेळी ते 75 पेक्षा कमी पण हवेत. So when I say 78, nothing will happen. Why? Because I have mentioned it should be less than 75, and what I have entered 78 means it is more than 75, so it doesn't work. But when I say 67, आता आपली कंडिशन ट्रू होती पहा. आपली कंडिशन काय आहे? 60 पेक्षा मार्क्स जास्ती आहेत का रे? Yes, 67 means more than 60 and 75 पेक्षा कमी आहेत का? Yes, 67 means less than 75. आता ही स्टेटमेंट फर्स्ट क्लास ही प्रिंट होणार. सो व्हेन आय डू एंटर, when I press enter, it will show first class. Why? Because I know both the condition does matches, and means this and this both needs to be true. You know it is same as a electronics AND gate. 1 will produce 1. If either of the thing is 0, then the output would be 0. Right? As we are using AND, in the same fashion we can use OR. Suppose I'm doing a program for matrimonial site, आणि आय हॅव आस्क्ड दॅट गर्ल, तिच्याकडनं फॉर्म भरून घेतला की तुझं नवऱ्या मुलाकडनं काय एक्सपेक्टेशन आहे, तर ती म्हणाली पुण्यात फ्लॅट हवा किंवा औरंगाबादचा राहणार असेल तर 50,000 पगार हवा. राईट? नाउ शी इज हॅव्हिंग ऑर कंडिशन. what is her first condition? If the person is Pune based, he must have a flat in Pune. किंवा जर पुण्यात स्वतःचं घर नसेल तर तिची दुसरी कंडिशन काय आहे? ऑर म्हणतोय, घर नसलं तरी चालेल पण पगार 60,000 हवा. सो आयदर ऑफ देम विल डू फॉर हर. सर मग दोन्ही असेल तर it's well and good. Once again OR gate. Even though there is a single input high, the output would be high. Right? It is something like that. So can we code this? Yes, it's very easy. I will say first आपल्याला त्याची CT विचारायची आहे. CT input, enter CT. You might have guessed आपण इथे काहीच कन्वर्ट का नाही केलं? बिकॉज वी नो बाय डिफॉल्ट इनपुट फंक्शन टेक्स अ स्ट्रिंग आणि CT म्हणजे काय आहे? स्ट्रिंग आहे. दॅट्स वाय देयर इज अ नो कन्व्हर्जन रिक्वायर्ड. त्यानंतर सॅलरी. सॅलरीसाठी काय करावं लागेल मला? सॅलरीसाठी मला आता इंटिजर किंवा फ्लोट वापरावं लागेल कारण तो नंबर आहे. इनपुट एंटर सॅलरी. तर आय एम डाऊटफुल, कधी तुम्ही डबल कोट्स वापरता, कधी सिंगल कोट्स वापरता, काय वापरायचं? दोन्ही अलाउड आहे हे सांगण्यासाठीच मी असं अलटून पालटून वापरतो. इफ आता काय कंडिशन आहे आपली? दोन कंडिशन आहे. इफ CT इज पुणे तरी चालणार आहे तिला, किंवा जर तो पुण्यात राहणारा नसेल तर तिचं काय म्हणणं आहे? सॅलरी 60,000पेक्षा जास्त हवी. असं असेल तरच शी विल से ऍग्री. एल्स असं नसेल तर रिजेक्ट. Now it will ask me two input. First CT, मी सांगितलं पुणे. नंतर तो विचारतो सॅलरी किती आहे? सॅलरी फक्त 30,000 रुपये. What do you think? Whether she will agree? Yes, because she want only one condition. पुण्यात राहणार आहे एवढं पुरेसं आहे तिला. राईट? सॅलरी सिटी औरंगाबाद आहे पण सॅलरी 75,000 आहे. अशा वेळेस ती पुण्याचा नाद सोडून देईल. औरंगाबाद तर औरंगाबाद, सॅलरी केवढी भारी आहे असं म्हणून ती ऍग्री होईल. पण दोन्ही पैकी एकही कंडिशन मॅच होत नसेल तर, म्हणजे नाशिकचा मुलगा आहे आणि पगार 25,000 आहे, सॅलरी पण चांगली नाही आणि सिटी पण पुणे नाही, मग रिजेक्ट. So this is how you have to think of various cases, right? Now sometimes what is needed is you need to think about more than one conditions, right? What does this mean? suppose excuse me, suppose we are coding for something. I have asked you, we want to have a treat after this session is over, and we went to an ice cream parlor, and then that shop owner has asked you, ma'am तुम्हाला कुठला आईस्क्रीम आवडेल? तर आपला पिऊन आणायला जाणार आहे त्या शॉपकीपर कडे, तर तुम्ही त्याला सांगितलं की मला स्ट्रॉबेरी फ्लेवरचा आईस्क्रीम हवाय. पण हा पिऊन हुशार आहे, त्यांनी काय विचारलं, मॅडम स्ट्रॉबेरी नाही मिळालं तर काय करू? कारण त्याला माहितीये जर तिथे जाऊन स्ट्रॉबेरी नसेल तर त्याला पुन्हा तुम्हाला विचारायला यावं लागेल, मॅम स्ट्रॉबेरी मिळालं नाही, मग आता कुठलं आणू? त्याच्या 2 चक्कर व्हायला नको म्हणून त्यांनी दुसरा चॉईस तुम्हाला ऑलरेडी विचारला, मॅम इफ देअर इज अ नो स्ट्रॉबेरी देन व्हॉट आय विल डू. मग तुम्ही सांगितलं मग मँगो आहे का बघ. तो आणखी हुशार आहे, तो म्हणाला मॅम स्ट्रॉबेरी पण नाही मिळालं, मँगो पण नाही मिळालं तर काय? मग तुम्ही त्याला सांगितलं सरळ घरी ये. Now we will code this. What we need to ask? Flavor. So input, enter ice cream, flavor. Now we have to code this. If x is equals to strawberry, then what you could say? You would say print purchase 150. 150 कोण मागूयात आपण. पण असं नसेल तर म्हणजे काय? असं नसेल तर इन द सेन्स इफ द स्ट्रॉबेरी फ्लेवर इज नॉट अवेलेबल देन वी हॅव टू चेक. म्हणून आपण याला काय म्हणतो? एल्स इफ. ऍक्च्युअली द प्रॉब्लेम इज दॅट आमच्याकडे पाऊस सुरू झालाय आणि त्याच्यामुळे थोडस इंटरनेट स्लो झालंय बहुधा, आणि असं थोडस डिले येतोय या पावसामुळे, आणि खूप ढग आलेत, पाऊस चालू आहे, त्यामुळे जरासा डिले असू शकतो. ओके, सो व्हॉट एल्स इफ मीन्स? एल्स इफ मीन्स इफ द फर्स्ट कंडिशन इज फॉल्स देन ओनली चेक. तर आपण आपली कंडिशन बदलूयात. आपण काय म्हटलं, जर स्ट्रॉबेरी असेल तर 150 घे, आणि मँगो असेल तर फक्त 100च आण, बाकीचे 50 लोक खाणार नाहीयेत. राईट? सो माझ्याकडे 2 ऑप्शन आहेत. पहिलं ऑप्शन असं, इफ स्ट्रॉबेरी देन प्रिंट परचेस 150. इफ x is equals to mango, print purchase 100 only. आणि दोन्ही नसतील तर if both the options are not available then no ice cream. Right? So I have written this code to see how it has to work. हे आपण एक्स्ट्रा लिहिलंय त्यामुळे याला कमेंट करायला लागेल. Because now they are asking me for flavor. I have explained mango. मँगो म्हटल्यानंतर त्यांनी 100 घे असं सांगितलं. मी म्हटलं स्ट्रॉबेरी, स्पेलिंग चुकलंय मला, आता तसंच लिहायला लागेल. आय हॅव सेड स्ट्रॉबेरी, देन इट इज सेइंग 150. त्याच्यानंतर मी त्याला विचारलं कुठला फ्लेवर आहे, तो म्हणाला व्हॅनिला. व्हॅनिला असेल तर आपल्याला एकही घ्यायचं नाहीये, सो नो आईस्क्रीम. राईट? सो दिस कोड इज वर्किंग फाईन. बट द प्रॉब्लेम इज, आता तुम्ही हा विचार करा आपली फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी कशाला आहे? स्ट्रॉबेरीला. जर स्ट्रॉबेरी अवेलेबल असेल तर आपण मँगो विचारणार आहोत का? नाही, राईट. पण या प्रोग्राम मध्ये कसं होतंय? एक्स इज इक्वल्स टू स्ट्रॉबेरी आहे का? तो सांगतो नाही. मग विचारतो एक्स इज इक्वल्स टू मँगो आहे का? विचारतो. बट जस्ट ट्राय टू इमॅजिन इफ एक्स इज स्ट्रॉबेरी. एका व्हेरिएबल मध्ये एकच व्हॅल्यू राहू शकते आणि मी कुठली व्हॅल्यू ठेवतोय? स्ट्रॉबेरी. म्हणजे हे असं झालं, तुम्ही मला विचारलं सर तुमचं नाव काय? मी सांगितलं माय नेम इज तुषार. मग तुम्ही लगेच मला विचारताय तुमचं नाव तुषार का? रमेश नाहीये का? अरे माझं नाव तुषार आहे म्हटलं रमेश असू शकतं का? नाही. मग हा इफ प्रश्न विचारणं हे मूर्खपणाचं आहे की नाही? When this value is true, it means this value cannot be true. And you are asking your machine to do some extra task. And to avoid this extra task, what we could do? You have to write something called as else if. Else if stands for check this condition. But when to check this condition? If the first condition is false. If the first condition is successful, neither this will execute nor this will execute. पुन्हा सांगतो. else if चं म्हणणं काय आहे? else if चं म्हणणं असं आहे की वरची कंडिशन इफ इट इज फॉल्स, जर आईस्क्रीम स्ट्रॉबेरी नसेल तर मँगोला विचार. जर आईस्क्रीम स्ट्रॉबेरी असेल तर मँगो आहे का हे विचारायचं सुद्धा नाही. बिकॉज आय वॉन्ट टू सेव्ह टास्क, राईट. So if x is equals to strawberry, neither this else if part nor this else part will execute. It will execute only first two lines, because within first two lines it would come to know whether x is strawberry. Yes, then order 150 ice creams, part finish. You don't need to check what are the rest of the values, right? So this is called else if. When else if will execute? When if is unsuccessful. When if is false, at that moment only else if will execute. Yes?
So can we apply more than two conditions?
Yes, of course it is possible. Like here, we can write if x is strawberry or x is not vanilla. Sorry, मला not vanilla लिहायचं होतं. This is not equal to vanilla. स्ट्रॉबेरी आणि व्हॅनिला नसेल तर 150 परचेस कर. किंवा उलटही म्हणू शकता तुम्ही, जर स्ट्रॉबेरी किंवा व्हॅनिला असेल तर 150 परचेस कर. स्ट्रॉबेरी पण नाहीये, व्हॅनिला पण नाहीये, देन चेक whether it is mango, right? So if first condition is false, then and then only go for the second condition, right? If the first condition is matching, why you are going to check for the second condition? It is not at all needed, right? So else if is having very much importance when you got a lot of time to say. For example, I'm having a code like this. I'm saying x is equals to enter input a number. एक number input करायला सांगितला. And then I'm checking if x is equals to 1. Sorry. If x is equals to 1, then I'm saying print 1. If x is equals to 2, I will copy this to save time because we are lagging today. Here I will mention 2. Okay. So I will make this as a 3. I will make this as a 4. I'm simply displaying the number names. ज्युनियर केजीच्या मुलांना देतात असं काम. ठीक आहे. सो वी आर हॅव्हिंग अ व्हेरी सिम्पल प्रोग्राम अँड इट विल वर्क फाईन. नो डाऊट द आन्सर इज करेक्ट. When I press 1, it will display me 1. When I press 3, it will display me 3. Right? So these things go on working well. Right? When I press 3, it will show me 3. It is working well. But this problem is not solved in a well manner. Why? Let me tell you. Suppose I have entered the value of x to be 1. So the first condition will check whether x is 1. The answer is yes, and 1 will be printed. Right? Whether the x value is a 2. पण याचं उत्तर काय येणार आहे? No, this is false. Then it will check whether x value is 3. याचं पण उत्तर false येणार आहे. Then it will check whether x value is 4. याचं पण उत्तर false येणार आहे. तुम्हाला आणि मला कळतं जेव्हा x ची व्हॅल्यू 1 आहे याचा अर्थ जगातली कुठलीच व्हॅल्यू आता त्याच्यासाठी false येणार आहे. When x is 1, x is not 2, x is not 3, x is not 4 because it is 1. When it is 1, it is 3, 4. But what we are doing? We are asking our computer to check. 1 आहे रे पण 2 नाही ना नक्की बघ. 1 आहे रे पण 3 किंवा 4 नाहीये ना बघ. अरे का असं जास्तीचं काम सांगताय मशीनला? मग आपल्याला काय करायचं? हे जर जास्तीचं काम आपल्या मशीनने करू नये असं वाटत असेल तर यू नीड टू राईट else if. What will happen with this else if? With this else if, it will not check whether it is 2 or 3 or 4. When it will not check whether it is 2, when x is 1. पण जर x 1 नाही निघाला, suppose I have entered 3. What does this mean? X is not 1. X is not 1 म्हटल्यानंतर प्लीज चेक कर मग x 2 आहे का? आहे. पण आता x3 आहे म्हटल्यानंतर स्क्रीनवर आपल्याला उत्तर काय दिसेल? प्रिंट 3. मग x3 आहे. द युजर हॅज एंटर्ड x इज इक्वल्स टू 3. हे प्रूव्ह झालंय तरी सुद्धा मग पुन्हा विचारण्याची गरज आहे का x इज इक्वल्स टू 4? नाही. With the help of else if, it will not try to check whether x is equals to 4 because it has already confirmed that x is not 4 because x is 3. Right? तर उत्तर दोन्हीकडे सेम येतं. फक्त आपण मशीनचं काम वाचवू शकतो when we are writing else if. Right? I hope you understand when to use else if. When you are damn sure that the things, upper things are not working, the condition is false, then check whether the next condition is applicable. Otherwise, you don't need to check it. Right? Great. Now, our next constraint is while loop. Right? So you can use these things. It will give you some fancy look. Right? Color वगैरे पण करता है. Now, you need to understand certain things. For example, my task is that I have to display hello world message 5 times. You know how to display hello world. Print function is useful for this. I am printing hello. How many times I need to write the same statement? 5. As it is 5, it is okay for me to copy paste 5 times. Suppose I have to enter this, I have to display it 10,000 times. Am I supposed to write the statement 10,000 times? It is not possible at all. Right? And for the very same sake of a reason, whenever you find that certain things has to be repeated again and again, in all those scenarios, we use some. So what type of a loop? Loop can be used when you have to execute same thing again and again, right? So how to do that? So first we will see the while loop. This while loop is always followed with a condition, right? And this condition most of the times got a variable called increment variable or loop control variable. For example, let me write I is equals to 0. This is my initial value of loop. How many times I have to display this hello world? 5 times. So what should be my condition? Repeat certain steps while the value of I is less than 5. I ची किंमत 5 पेक्षा कमी असेल तर काय कर? hello शब्द डिस्प्ले कर. Right. Now I will try to execute this. What happens is that it will check whether the value of the first line is I is equals to 0. So it will create a variable and assign 0 to it, right? Then in a while, we are checking whether the value of I is less than 5. 0 5 पेक्षा लहान आहेत का? Yes. So we come inside the loop and will display print hello, right? If you have seen some old pictures, old movies, त्या movies मध्ये काय असतं, एक सिनेमाचा नायक असतो, हिरो असतो, आणि त्याला त्यांनी न केलेल्या गुन्ह्याबद्दल शिक्षा झालेली असते, आणि मग त्याला आता जेलमधनं बाहेर येऊन बदला घ्यायचा असतो. तर तो काय करतो पाहिलं असेल तुम्ही, तो जेलच्या भिंतीवर अशा उभ्या रेषा ओढत असतो, आणि मग 7 रेषा झाल्या की 6 रेषा झाली की एक आडवी रेष ओढतो, 7. What he is doing? He is doing how many days has been passed still the time he has been admitted to the jail or he has been in the jail, right? आपल्याला पण तसंच करावं लागणार आहे. आपण मोजणार कसं 5 टाइम झाले की नाही? एकदा हॅलो प्रिंट करून झालं, सॉरी, एकदा हॅलो प्रिंट करून झालं की आपल्याला आय ची व्हॅल्यू 1 नी वाढवायची, म्हणजेच भिंतीवर एक रेष वाढवायची. So what is the initial value of I? 0. I is equals to I plus 1. याच्याने काय होईल? ती व्हॅल्यू 1 होईल. 1 झाली की it will once again check whether 1 is less than 5. The answer is yes, 1 is less than 5. So it will display hello, right? Then I is still more times incremented with a 1. It was 1, I plus 1. 1 plus 1, it becomes 2. It will check whether 2 is less than 5. Yes, it will display hello. I is incremented, it becomes 3. It will check whether 3 is less than 5. Yes, it will display hello. Once again, I is incremented with the statement I is equals to I plus 1. It becomes 4. 4 is less than 5. Yes, but when it becomes 5, now see, while I is less than 5, what is the value of I at this moment? 5. Whether 5 is less than 5? No, 5 can't be less than 5. 5 is equal to 5. So as this condition is false, these two statements will not execute, and you will see hello message on the screen only for 5 times, right? प्रत्येक वेळे एकदा हॅलो झालं की आपण आय ची किंमत 1 नी वाढवली, दुसऱ्यांदा झालं पुन्हा आय ची किंमत वाढवली. असं किती वेळ करायचं आहे आपल्याला? टिल द टाइम द व्हॅल्यू ऑफ आय is less than 5. At the moment it falls the condition, at the moment while is not capable of thinking that this condition is true, it will come out of the loop. Come out of the loop in the sense these two statements will not execute hereafter, right? So let's think, can we display the numbers from 1 to 10 using this particular loop? Yes. So let's do this. Let's say I is equals to 1. While. Now what should be my condition? मला 10 पर्यंत numbers display करायचे आहेत. So I is less than equal to 10. Why I have written equal to 10? Because I want to display 10 number also. 10 हा number पण display करायचा होता. Right? Print. What I have to display? I have to display I. Increment I with 1. I plus 1. Right? And now what I could see? I could see all the numbers from 1 to 10. Right? What I'm doing with this particular loop? With this loop, I'm saving my task. Otherwise, I need to write this print statement 10 times. आणि thankfully इथे 10च होते. जर 100 असते तर मला 100 वेळा प्रिंट स्टेटमेंट लिहावं लागलं असतं, जे आता मला लिहायला लागणार नाही. मला हे फक्त एकदाच लिहावं लागलं आणि तरी मी 100 नंबर डिस्प्ले करू लागलो. Sir, is it always going in a positive or incremental direction? No, you can do it in a reverse direction also. For example, I have to display all the numbers from 20 to 0 in a reverse order. So what I will do, I will keep the initial value as a 20 and I will say while I, कुठेपर्यंत I कमी करत न्यायचा आहे? Till the moment I is greater than 0. Once I become 0, don't repeat any step. Print I. I'm saying display I. Okay. Now at this moment, if you see the Uparwala statement, here what we have mentioned, we were incrementing I. Why? Because we know the initial value of I was 1 and now I want it to be 2. एकनी वाढली ती व्हॅल्यू. मला आता काय करायचं आहे? 20 नंतर कुठला नंबर डिस्प्ले करायचा? I is equals to 20. प्रिंट I. 20 नंबर डिस्प्ले झाला. आता 20 नंतर कुठला नंबर डिस्प्ले करायचा? I want to display 19. After 20, I want to display 19. So what I should do? Instead of increment, I would say decrement it. Now see, 20, 19, 18, up to 1. Right? So it would be entirely your choice how you will be using this particular loop. Right? To do n number of tasks, whatever you want. Correct? Sometimes what happens is we want more than one loops to be used. We want more than one loop used. For example, now I have to do a multiplication table. Mala 2 चा 3 right? So what I will do, while आपण 2 ते 5 असे टेबल लिहूया. While my I value is less than 5. But I must tell what is the initial value of I. Say my initial value is 2. So 2, 3 आणि 4 असे 3 टेबल्स तो इथे लिहिणार आहे. सेकंड, सपोज आता मी 2 चा टेबल लिहितोय. हा 2 चा टेबल लिहिताना काय करावं लागेल मला? 2 into 1, 2 into 3, 2 into 4 असं करावं लागेल. कुठेपर्यंत करावं लागतं? It is less than equal to 10. Right? 2 tens are 20. इथेपर्यंत मला ते न्यावं लागेल. मग मला डिस्प्ले करायचंय. काय डिस्प्ले करायचंय? I into J. I ची व्हॅल्यू काय आहे? प्रिव्हियसली 2. J ची व्हॅल्यू काय आहे? 1. सो 2 into 1 काय डिस्प्ले होईल? 2. Right? Great. Now I will run this. Let's see whether it will work or not. It won't work. Why? Because we had made no provision for incrementation of I and J. हे थांबेल कसं ना? Right? So what I need to do, once I display this, I will say increment the value of j with 1. राईट. आणि जे ची व्हॅल्यू 10 पर्यंत गेली याचा अर्थ काय, 2 चा पाढा संपला. आता कशाचा पाढा करायचा आहे, 3 चा. 2 ची व्हॅल्यू 3 करायची. 2 कशात लिहिलं होतं आपण, आय नावाच्या व्हेरिएबल मध्ये. सो लेट्स इन्क्रीमेंट. नाउ सी वेदर इट विल लुक गुड. हियर वी आर ट्राइंग टू display it. See here, 2 1s are 2, 4 6 8 up to 20. आणि 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6 असं चालू केलं. राईट. पण असं वाटतं ना या दोन्ही मध्ये एक स्पेस हवा होता. 20 चा टेबल संपला की लगेच त्यांनी 3 चा टेबल चालू केलाय. या दोन्ही मध्ये एक स्पेस असतं तर छान झालं असतं. सो व्हॉट वी कुड डू, वी विल से प्रिंट. एक एम्प्टी प्रिंट स्टेटमेंट दिलं. 2 चं टेबल संपल्यानंतर त्याने एक एम्प्टी स्पेस घेतला, पुन्हा 3 चं टेबल चालू केलं. राईट. जर मला हे 2 4 6 सगळे एकाच लाईन मध्ये हवे असतील तर व्हॉट आय कुड डू, आय नीड टू चेंज माय एंड स्टेटमेंट. एंड इज इक्वल्स टू स्पेस. आता काय होईल, आउटपुट मला आडवं दिसेल. राईट. What we have done here, we have used two loops, one with the increment variable I and the other with the increment variable j. j काय करताय, 1 to 10 सगळे टेबल्स सगळे मल्टिप्लिकेशन आले की नाही हे पाहतं. आणि I काय करताय, I 2 3 4 हे तिन्ही टेबल आले की नाही हे पाहतं. राईट. Yes. So, any questions in this? Why we require two loops? Because we were supposed to do two different tasks simultaneously, right? And we have to see to it that once I multiply 2 with all the 10 numbers, 2 into 1, 2 into 2, 2 into 3, 2 into 4, and once it reaches to 10, once again I have to make the value of j to be 1. का? कारण पुन्हा आता 3 into 1, 3 into 2, 3 into 3, 3 into 4 असं करायचंय. त्यामुळे j ची व्हॅल्यू 10 पर्यंत पोहोचली की मला j ची व्हॅल्यू पुन्हा एकदा 1 करावी लागणार आहे. राईट. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड ॲज अ आउटर लूप. राईट. अँड दिस इज कॉल्ड ॲज इनर लूप. इनर लूप पूर्ण 1 पासून 10 पर्यंत झाल्यानंतर आय ची व्हॅल्यू 1 नी वाढणार आहे आणि 2 चं 3 होणार आहे. 2 चं 3 झालं की पुन्हा 3 ला 1 to 10 असं 10 टाइम्स आपण मल्टिप्लाय करणार आहोत. पुन्हा जे ची व्हॅल्यू 1 वर आणायची आहे आणि आय ची व्हॅल्यू 1 नी वाढायची आहे. सो 3 विल गो टू 4, पुन्हा 4 into 1, 4 into 2, 4 into 3 likewise हे होत. Right. So this particular concept is called as nested loop. Right. Great. Any questions, doubts in this? No? Great. So then we will discuss another kind of a loop. We call it as for loop. Right?
Hello.
So this for, hi, yes ma'am.
सर मला ना एक क्वेश्चन होता की तुम्ही हे सांगितलं आपण जेव्हा इनपुट घेतलं स्क्रीनला. हॅलो. स्ट्रिंगला
हा बोला.
जेव्हा घेतलं तेव्हा बी ऑफ झिरो रीड केला तर फर्स्ट व्हॅल्यू फर्स्ट जो काही आपला स्ट्रिंग आहे तो रीड होतो. मग सपोज मी इंटिजर केलं आणि बी ऑफ झिरो लिहिलं तर माझं पहिलं तो नंबर जो आहे न्यूमेरिकल व्हॅल्यू ती रीड होते का?
नाही होणार. कारण नंबर मध्ये कसं असतं, जेव्हा मी 23 म्हणतो तेव्हा 23 हे एकच युनिट समजलं जातं. 23 इज अ नंबर. त्याच्यात 2 वेगळा आणि 3 वेगळा असं कन्सिडर नाही होत, त्यामुळे होत नाही. पण जर मी 23 ला स्ट्रिंग म्हणून कन्सिडर केलं तर मी ते दोन्ही वेगवेगळे रीड करू शकतो.
थँक्यू.
आता दिस फॉर लूप. आता या फॉर लूपची स्पेशालिटी अशी आहे की दिस फॉर लूप इज जनरली युज्ड फॉर सिक्वेन्स. सिक्वेन्स मीन्स वेअर देअर आर मोर दॅन वन एलिमेंट्स, राईट? So, for example, S is equals to, I'm having some string. Now, what is a string? As we discussed, it's a sequence of character, right? So now I can use for, and for is always followed with some kind of a variable. So let me say I, and then there is a word called in, for I in S. What it will do is, it will take one value from S and that value will be copied into variable I. Every time it will make sure that it will copy only one value from S. So for the first time it will copy the value R. I'm trying to display it as here. So what happens at the first time, sorry, मला S म्हणायचं नव्हतं, I म्हणायचं होतं. So it will take R from S and will copy it into I. Next time तो काय करेल, A व्हॅल्यू घेईल आणि I मध्ये कॉपी करेल. नेक्स्ट टाइम M कॉपी करेल. Every time it is taking one value into variable I. S काय आहे? S is a string. या स्ट्रिंग मध्ये एक एक व्हॅल्यू तो घेईल आणि ती I मध्ये कॉपी करेल. When I say print I, it is displaying each individual element, right? So for loop is used when we are having sequence. We are about to see various sequences like lists, tuples, all those data structures where you will find that for loop is very much of importance, right? In a similar fashion, for can be used with a range function to produce numbers. For example, for I in the range function, this range function requires 3 parameters. The first parameter is where you want to start, and the last parameter is where you want to end, right? And then I will say, just give me a second, and then I will say print I. So what we mean to this, we are getting one number from 1 to 10 every time to be copied into I. So I is a variable and I will have a different value every time. So when I say print I, every time a different value will be printed. The specificness of a range function is that whatever value you give as the last number, it will display one number less than whatever you have specified, right? So in the similar fashion, we can have 3 parameters for this range function. Now what the third parameter will be doing? Here I will show you an example. Now here how many parameters we have given? The starting number, the ending number. The third parameter is called increment factor. Now if I write 2 here, the number will get incremented with a 2. First number is 1, second number is 3, third number is 5, fourth number is 7, and so on, right? So you can specify. If I mention 3 here, so there will be a gap of 3 in between each of the number. 1, 4, 7, something like this, right? So it would be your right. So can we have it in a reverse order? Yes, that is even possible. So what we mean to say, for I in a range, and we can do it in a reverse way, 20, comma 0. How do you want to decrement it? With a range of -1, right? And then when I say print I, it will be displaying the numbers in a reverse order, 20, 19, 17, up to 1. Right? So it would be your choice how you want to go for it. If you are having a sequence to be displayed, for loop is a more useful. The same thing can be done even with a while. But what is flexibility, what we call it, is more when we are having for loop. When you don't know exactly how many times your loop will go at all those moments, it's better that you should use the while loop. जेव्हा तुम्हाला एक्झॅक्ट माहिती असतं किती वेळा लूप एक्झिक्यूट होणार आहे तेव्हा फॉर वापरावं, आणि जेव्हा तुम्हाला माहिती नाही की किती वेळ चालणार आहे लूप तेव्हा व्हाईल वापरावं. एक लास्ट एक्झाम्पल पाहूयात आपण लूपचं आणि मग पुढे जाऊयात. सपोज आय वॉन्ट टू डिस्प्ले द स्टार पॅटर्न्स विथ फॉर, नेस्टेड फॉर. सो फॉर आय इन रेंज 1 to 11. 1 to 11 म्हणजे आता किती नंबर्स डिस्प्ले होणार आहेत? 10. Right? 10. I'm taking another loop J in a range of 1 comma I plus 1. Now what does this mean? आता पहिल्यांदा पहा, I ची व्हॅल्यू किती असणार आहे? 1, कारण आपण 1 ते 10 एवढं त्याला इटरेट कर असं सांगितलं. सो I ची पहिली व्हॅल्यू असणार आहे 1. जे मध्ये आपण काय म्हटलंय, 1 पासनं I plus 1 पर्यंतचा I ची किंमत किती आहे? 2. सो 1 to 2, 1 to 2 म्हणजे किती? एकदाच हे होईल, कारण वी नो द लास्ट नंबर नेव्हर गेट्स 1. लास्ट नंबर पेक्षा 1 कमी येतो. 11 म्हटलं की तो 10 पर्यंत जातो. तसंच इथे 1 to 2 म्हटल्यामुळे काय होणार आहे? एकदा डिस्प्ले होईल, राईट. मग पुन्हा नेक्स्ट इटरेशन, आता आय ची किंमत किती होणार? 2. म्हणजे जे ची किंमत किती होणार आहे? I is equals to 1 I plus 1 means 3. 1 आणि 2 असं होणार आहे, राईट. आता याचा फायदा मी कसा करून घेतो ते पहा. What I will say, print I want to display a star here. When I execute this, what you could see is I'm having stars displayed in a fashion. First 2, then 4, then 5, something like that. This is not what we want. Why? Because we have not mentioned what should be the end. In an end, and now with this statement, you can see I'm having the pattern. पहिल्या लाईन मध्ये 1 स्टार, दुसऱ्या लाईन मध्ये 2, then 3, 4, 5, up to 10. Right? Why this pattern has generated? Because we are mentioning J for loop has to be reached up to I plus 1. मग पहिल्या वेळेस जे लूप 1 पर्यंत गेलं, नंतर जे लूप 2 पर्यंत गेलं, जे लूप 3 पर्यंत गेलं, असं दर वेळेस ते एका वाढत. Right? That I understand, sir. But why we require 2 loops? The answer is simple. एक लाईन प्रिंट करायला एक लूप. हे काय करतंय? एक लाईन प्रिंट करतंय. पहिल्या वेळेस त्यांनी अशी लाईन प्रिंट केली ज्यात 1 स्टार होता. दुसऱ्या वेळेस त्यांनी अशी लाईन प्रिंट केली त्याच्यात 2 स्टार होता. तिसऱ्या वेळेस त्यांनी अशी लाईन प्रिंट केली ज्याच्यात 3 स्टार होते. त्यामुळे हे आतलं जे लूप आहे ते फक्त एक लाईन प्रिंट करतं ऍट अ टाइम. आपल्याला किती लाईन प्रिंट करायच्या होत्या? 10. मग एक झाली लाईन का 10 लाईन झाल्यात हे कुणीतरी काउंट करणं आवश्यक होतं. आपण म्हणालोय 10 लाईन प्रिंट कर. मग 1 लाईन झाली, 2 लाईन झाली, 3 लाईन झाली, 4 लाईन झाली, हे काउंट करणारं हे आउटर लूप आहे. Outer loop will count how many lines has been produced. Inner loop will count how many stars I have produced in each of the line. Right? तर हे असं फॉर लूप होतं. हे दोन्ही लूप आपल्याला खूप वेळा वापरावे लागणार आहेत when we will be using this Python. Right? So before concluding on a control structures, let me ask you, are we good with this? Any questions, any queries? No? Okay. Now the last thing today we are going to discuss is data structures in a Python, right? So what do you mean by data structures? Now when we are storing the data, we want the data to be in a particular order, right? And that's why various data structure has been proposed by Python. So we are going to discuss few of them. The first one is called as list, right? What list is? List means just different elements are combined together, right? Most importantly, these elements are heterogeneous element, right? Those who are familiar with C programming, they must understand that in an array we were using every element to be of a similar type. But list is such a container where the elements can be of a different types. One is integer and second is a float. It's okay, right? The question is how to create a list. For creation of a list, what you need is square bracket, right? Inside this square bracket, whatever you mention becomes the element of that particular list. So these are the 4 elemented list. When I say S, it will display all the elements inside that particular list. The list consists of 4 elements, right? What you have to understand, list means collection of elements. And what is important, these elements are of heterogeneous type. They are not of the same type, right? So that is good. Now with this list, we can do indexing also. Now what do we mean by indexing? Like we have done for string, in a similar fashion, we can do it for list. When I say S of 1, the indexing always starts with a 0. So 0th element would be 100. First element is KKK. Second element is 23.4. And third element is C. So when I say S of 1, I'm discussing the second element. I'm referring the second element. Why? Because indexing starts with 0. Right? Great. What if I have to refer more than one elements? Is it allowed? Yes. For example, I want to take all the elements from 1 to 3. 1 to 3 means first element and second element. As we discussed, when I'm saying 3, 3 means it is 1 less than 3. Right? So when I do it, what I could see on a screen? KKK and 23.4. 2 elements will be displayed on the screen, right? So what if I would have written here 4? If you would have written there 4, then up to 4 means 3 इंडेक्स पर्यंत सगळे एलिमेंट आले असते. पहिला इंडेक्स कुठला आहे? 1, that is KKK. Second element 23.4 and third element is C. So you could see last three elements, right? You can even mention what should be the gap between. For example, if I would have said 0, then the next column tells you what should be the increment factor. So I'm saying 0 पासन 3 पर्यंत सगळे एलिमेंट डिस्प्ले कर, and every element should be with a gap of 1. So what does it indicates? Suppose I have written 2 here. What will happen? S of 0 colon 4 colon 2. याच्यामुळे काय होणार आहे? We will get alternate numbers. 100 नंतर डायरेक्ट 23.4 आलं. KKK नाही येणार. का नाही येणार? Because the incremental factor was of 1. Right? Good. Now what we will do, we will try to create another list. L is equals to 12, 23, 45, 67, DD, PT, sorry, PT, 0, 24, right? So I'm having a list. I will display it. I can see something on my screen. Now the important part is when you are pretty sure that you want to start the list from the starting, so you can ignore the starting index. What I mean to say is that I have directly mentioned colon and say 3. What does this mean? When I don't mention the starting index, it means 0th element पासन list start. When I don't mention the first index, it means start it from the 0th index. So 12, 23 आणि 45 तीन elements screen वर येतील. 12 म्हणजे 0th index, 23 म्हणजे first, 45 म्हणजे second. जेव्हा मी 3 पर्यंत जा म्हणतो तेव्हा तो 1 कमी जातो, म्हणजे दुसऱ्या इंडेक्स पर्यंत जातो. राइट? सो 0, 1, 2 असे 3 इंडेक्सेस आपल्याला तर दाखवेल. Right? In a similar fashion, we can even say colon 3 colon. I haven't mentioned increment factor. Increment factor mention नाही केला म्हणजे कितीनी वाढवायचे? You have to by default increment it with 1. Right? Sir, if I don't mention either of the index, neither starting index nor the ending index, then it will display the entire list. कारण starting index पण दिला नाही आणि ending index पण दिला नाहीये. In that scenario, it will take first number to last number every of the element. Right? I hope you understand. So this is very interesting thing, how you can manipulate the list, because very often you need that how you can reach to the particular element. Right? So that is why it is always needed how to go with it. Right? Now what this is, because in the rest of the languages it has been discussed that you are not allowed to use negative indexing, but here you can see I have used a negative index. I have used -1. So the thing is that I will write it here. What are my numbers? 12, 23, 45, 67, DD, PT, 0 and 25. When I'm going in a normal way, this is called 0 index. This is called first index. This is second index, third index, fourth index, fifth index, this is sixth one, and this is seventh one, right? But when we are using negative indexing, the things are quite different. What I mean to say is that this 24 becomes -1 index. This 0 becomes -2 index. This becomes -3. This BD becomes -4. Likewise. Right? So this is a surprised thing that we are allowed to use negative indexing. This negative indexing will help us to get negative numbers from the reverse order. Right? How we are dealing with the list now? In a reverse fashion, in a negative way. So it is just like that. You are accessing the elements in a negative fashion. So surprisingly good, and you can access any of the given element as and when you require it. Any of the things means here I have used -1 only. You can use any of the other things. From -1 colon -4. And when I do this, you can see, sorry, I haven't mentioned the factor point. So 3 elements are displayed. The last element, the last, before last, and before this 24 TT. If I have written positive here, what is happening? -1 के आगे वो जा ही नहीं सकता. That's why -1 + 1, it was going to 0, and that was the reason it is not gaining tokens. Right? What will happen if I mention -2 here? Suppose I will remove this. I don't know what would be the last index, and I'm saying make a gap of -2. So alternately, each element would be displayed: 24, TT, 67, and 23. Right? Do you get this? Okay. Now, I think I want to display all the element in a reverse order. So I have displayed it without using negative indexing. Can I do this? The answer is yes. How? L. कहाँ से शुरू करना है? I want. How many elements are there? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I will say start from 7, come to 0, and decrement every time with -1. You will see the same. I guess it is 8. There might be some mistake in counting. 0 म्हणजे तो 1 पर्यंत येतं. -1, then it will take to 0. So get it up to the last element, right? So it would be entirely your choice. How do you want it, with a negative index or with a positive index? Now you may ask altogether why we require negative indexing. Have you seen that when I was about to display the last element, I want to display 24. How I will display this 24? What I need to do, I need to count each and every element. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have to get the index of 24, and then I have to say L of that index. This is the mechanism I have used to reach to the last element. But instead, I can directly reach to the last element by using a negative subscription, a negative index. When I say -1, I know I'm reaching the last element. -1 means the last element. -2 means second last element. Right? So I don't need to count from the starting point how long I have to go, right? So that is the thing. Now there is an important method in this list function which is called append. Now what this append function will do, this append method, this append method will append any given number into the list at the end. This is added, and when I say display L, what you could see is this LLL is added as the last element. As I have executed it twice, you can see this LLL has been added twice. Whenever you use append method, you have to remember that the number would get copied to the last position, right? Correct. Can we change any of the given number? This is updation. Can we change any of the number? Yes, I find this LLL has been repeated. I'm going to change it. मुझे last element change करना है. How I will go to last element? L of -1 equals to. I need to mention a new element. I will say instead of GGG, you can mention XYZ, right? And then I will display L. And you will find this last LLL is replaced with XYZ. It is that easy and simple, right? So can we delete a particular element in this fashion? Yes, it is always possible. Delete an element from the list is easily doable. What you could do is you can use del statement. This del statement will help you to delete a particular element. Del, and then mention which element you want to delete. Suppose I want to delete the first element. First element means 23 will be removed from the list. So when I do this, I'm expecting 23 should be removed, and you can see after 12 there is directly 45. 23 has been removed, right? In a similar fashion, we are having a remove method. How to use this remove method? L dot remove, and inside the bracket you need to mention which element you want to remove. I want to remove LLL, and then you can see LLL, which was the second last element, is no more available, right? If you ask me what is the difference between del and remove, both are used to remove an element from the list, then how they are different? They are different in one way. First, you can see to call remove function, we require the name of the list and dot, and that is the reason this is called as a method in a technical language. Method always requires an object name and dot operator, whereas this is called as a function. So this is the difference between these two. One is a method and other is a function. So can we reverse the given list? Yes, it is possible. For that, you need to call the method called reverse. When I call this reverse method, you will see my data is reversed. Now XYZ is the first element and 12 is the last element, right? So this is how it is important. Okay. Then if this is that much important, can we have a repetition into the elements? Yes, it is always possible. For example, I am having a list called L. Let me create another list called D, and there I will write 11, 22, 33. Okay. And then I will say L plus D. Now you will see both of these lists get concatenated and I'm having a new list. पहले का list जैसे कि वैसा रहेगा and these new list is added at the end, right? In a similar fashion, we can replicate some list. Suppose I am having a list D and I am multiplying it with a 2. So when I do this, I'm going to replicate the list. Remember, it is not doing 11 into 2, 22. What it has done, लिस्ट मध्ये काय होतं 11, 22 आणि 23. ते 11, 22 आणि 23 त्यांनी 2 वेळा केलं. It has done the things twice. What if I mention here 3? It will replicate it thrice. 3 वेळा एकच डेटा रिप्लिकेट होईल. Right? So this is how you can say it. And the last point of a list is alias and cloning. Suppose I am having a list L. Now what I will do, I will create L2 is equals to L. काय केलं आपण, ती लिस्ट आपण कॉपी करून घेतो. याला म्हणतात एलियास, राईट? जेव्हा मी म्हणतो प्रिंट L2, इट विल प्रिंट इट. जेव्हा मी म्हणतो प्रिंट L, you will see that both of the lists are exactly same. One naire L, they are exactly same. Right? Suppose I want to change a particular thing. मी L2 मधला एक एलिमेंट चेंज करतो, पहिला एलिमेंट चेंज करतो आणि त्याला नाव देतो चेंज. मी कशात चेंज केलंय, L2 मध्ये चेंज केलंय. पण तुम्ही पाहत असाल तर L2 मध्ये आणि L1 मध्ये दोन्ही ठिकाणी चेंज झालेला आहे. L2 and L1 both has made the changes, right? म्हणजेच काय, ह्या दोन्ही एकमेकाच्या एक्झॅक्ट कॉपी असल्या तरी सुद्धा आपल्याला हे पाहायला हवं की दोन्ही एकाच लिस्टचे दोन नावं झालेले आहेत. म्हणजे एखाद्या रमेशला घरी पिंटू म्हणत असतात, तर रमेश आणि पिंटू हे दोन वेगळे वेगळे माणसं नाही आहेत, तर दोन्ही एकच आहेत. रमेशला मारलं तर पिंटूचा एक लाल होईल, कारण रमेश आणि पिंटू वेगळे नाहीच आहेत, दोन्ही एकच आहेत. हे आपण इथे प्रूव्ह केलं. पण जर आपण कॉपी नावाचं फंक्शन वापरलं, आय विल से L3 is equals to L2 dot copy. मी हे कॉपी नावाचं फंक्शन वापरतो आणि आता मी L2 चं 0th एलिमेंट चेंज करतो, त्याला मी 1 1 1 1 1 असं लिहितो. And when I print these values, print L2 and print L1. Now they are not same. What happens? L2 and L3, sorry. Could you see this? So L2 and L1. So copy and alias, these two things are behaving in a same fashion. मी L2 चेंज केलं पण L3 सुद्धा चेंज झालं, राईट? आणि आता लास्ट वे, what I am doing, I am creating L4 and inside this L4 I am saying L2, I haven't written starting index, I haven't written ending index, right? And then L2 is equals to L2 of 0 is equals to, then once again print L2, print L4. And you will see this. What would be the output? फक्त एकच डेटा बदलला, L2 चाच डेटा बदलला, L4 चा नाही बदलला. राईट. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड क्लोनिंग. तर क्लोनिंग आणि कॉपिंग मध्ये किंवा एलियास मध्ये काय डिफरन्स आहे? क्लोनिंग केलं की ज्या लिस्ट मध्ये चेंज केलाय फक्त त्याच लिस्ट मध्ये चेंज दिसतो, दुसरी लिस्ट जशीच्या तशी राहते. वेअर ॲज वेन वी आर युझिंग कॉपिंग, कॉपिंग मध्ये पहा पहिल्यात चेंज केला, दुसऱ्यात पण चेंज झालेला. राईट. सो दॅट इज द डिफरन्स बिटवीन दिस टू. राईट. एकात चेंज केला तर दुसऱ्यात चेंज होतो, त्याला म्हणायचं एलियास. एकात चेंज केला तरी दुसऱ्यात चेंज होत नाही, त्याला म्हणायचं क्लोनिंग. इट इज ॲज सिम्पल ॲज दिस. ओके, ग्रेट. Please interrupt me if you got any particular question. If you are having a list, say I'm having a list x is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's very easy to add different function. If I say x dot sum, it will calculate the sum of this. What I missed? X dot sum is equals to. Okay, I understand. I am trying to create a over existing list. Right? So I have created it. I will display it, and then I could use different functions. X dot len. What this x dot len will do? It will try to give me the length. Here I need to use it. Print x len. So it will display me the length of that particular variable. What is the matter? List has no attribute. This is the version change. Give me a second. I will try to remodify it with a different way. So how to go for it? It's a very simple. What you need to do is you have to use another variable where you can write all those things, and then len of x. Now it will show you what is there. I haven't printed. Let me print it. So here it says the length of the list is 5. In the similar fashion, you can compute sum of x. What it will do? It will calculate the sum of all the things. If you add 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, you will find that it is 15. Right? So there are various such functions which you can always use. You can do it in any number of times. If you have to remove a last number of the thing, then you can use pop function. What this pop function will do? This pop function will simply remove the last element. For example, x dot pop. And what it will do? It will remove the last element of it. 5 element, then you remove it. And now if you want to display x, you will see that there is no 5 element. Right? There is a sort element. Right? So that is always possible. So x dot sort, what it will do? आपली list already sort है, अपन दूसरी की वजह से. For the sake of simplicity, I will use it. 12, 2, 34, 12, 45, 34. This is my list. And then when I say a dot sort, it will sort it. राईट. आपण डिस्प्ले करायचं विसरलोय. A dot sort will you can see it is sorted. Then we have seen reverse. आणखी एक महत्वाचं आहे मेथड, that is A dot clear. What clear will do? Clear will remove all the elements from that particular list. जेव्हा सगळेच्या सगळे एलिमेंट्स रिमूव्ह करायचे असतात, नाउ यू कॅन सी इट्स अ एम्प्टी ब्रेस, तर ती लिस्ट पूर्ण रिमूव्ह झालेली आहे. राईट. खूप फंक्शन्स आहेत, एंडलेसली तुम्ही ते वापरू शकाल. तुम्ही जर म्हणालात मॅक्स ऑफ L1 किंवा ती कुठली होती एखादी लिस्ट, एक नवीनच करूया, S is equals to 1 2 3 4 5, and when you say max of S, it will say which number is the maximum. 5 is the maximum. In the similar fashion, you can have mean of S, and it will display the minimum number. Right. So this is endless. तर I guess एक last function मी तुम्हाला सांगतो, and then we will stop. If you want to compute anything, any occurrences of a given number, that is possible. For example, S dot count 3. S मध्ये 3 आहे का आणि असल्यास किती वेळा आहे हे आपल्याला तो सांगतो. And it has said it is only once available. सो आपण जर याच्यात आणखी वाढवले तर तुम्हाला लक्षात येईल की इट इज ऑलवेज डुएबल. आय विल से S डॉट अपेंड. अपेंड केलं की काय होतं, लिस्टच्या सगळ्यात शेवटी 3 हा नंबर अपेंड होईल. आता लिस्ट मध्ये 3 दोनदा असेल. राईट. तुम्हाला प्रूव्ह करायचं असेल तर यू कॅन सी हिअर S मध्ये 3 वेळा झालाय, आणि त्यामुळे आता मी जेव्हा S right. So this is all which we got for today. So I guess मला 4 पर्यंतच वेळ देण्यात आला होता. So we will stop for today's session. By that time, before we leave, if you got any queries, any doubt, you can ask me.
Hello, sir.
Hi, yes.
Sir, can you share this recordings? Means we have missed some parts.
Yes, it's possible.
At some moment due to technical error. Can you share?
Yes, yes. What I would do,
Yes, yes, sir. We will share this recording.
I will. And if you want, even I can share this particular notebook so that you can rerun this and make changes and modification wherever you require.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So
very much,
our
sir,
tomorrow's
Tushar Deshmukh,
agenda
sir.
is, yes. Tomorrow what
For
we will
delivering
do?
a very nice session. Sir, just. Yes, sir. Please continue.
What I was saying, tomorrow we will try to see there are 2 more data structures remaining, 3 data structures remaining. We will try to finish it within first half an hour, and or maybe most probably within 1 hour, and then we will discuss the libraries. Particularly, we have to discuss arrays from NumPy and data frame from pandas, because that would be the most important thing which we would be requiring for the machine learning, right? So I was overjoyed to be with you. I've got a very good and nice audience, but still I frankly say ki wherever you feel that there is something which I need to discuss more, you can interrupt me and ask me to elaborate it more. I will always ready, right? Over to you, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Participants, have you any doubt? Okay.
No, sir.
With that, yes, sir. Thank you very much, Tushar sir, for delivering very nice hands-on session on Python. I hope participants enjoyed today's session. We will again meet tomorrow to continue learning at 1:30. One more announcement for participants. There is one more session is arranged at 10:30, which is delivered by eminent personality Mr. Satish Ranade sir and Dr. Deepak Shirkapur sir. They will share their industrial experience and importance and need of data science, as well as need of Python in data science and various things. So we will meet tomorrow at 10:15 sharp, and tomorrow will be the session from 10:15 to 4:30. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
सर आज पण 4:30 पर्यंत आहे का मग?
हा, आज पण 4:30 दिलेला होता सर टायमिंग, पण आपण करूयात सर आता उद्या कंटिन्यू, काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही.
नाही म्हणजे मला लक्षात नाही आलं, म्हणजे मी फ्री आहे, आपण बसू शकत असाल तर आपण करूयात पुढे.
बरेच पार्टिसिपेंट्स लिव्ह होत आहेत सर, तर आपण उद्याच कंटिन्यू करूयात. चालेल. थँक्यू सर.
सर
हा बोला.
हॅलो सर, उद्या मग हे जे पायथनचं हे 10:30 नाही 1:30 वाजता सुरू.
1:30 वाजताच राहील सर, 1:30 ते 4:30. आणि एक इंडस्ट्री रिलेटेड थोडस नीड ऑफ डेटा सायन्स आणि मशीन लर्निंग याचं एक रिलेटेड सेशन ठेवलेलं आहे सर मॉर्निंगला. ओके सर, थँक्यू सर. देशमुख सर, थँक्यू.
ओके, थँक्यू. भेटूया उद्या.
येस सर, येस. Participants, please give attendance. Attendance link is shared here in chat box.
Sir?
Yes, yes, madam.
Sir, actually आमचं लेक्चर असतं त्या.
Okay, I will share one more time.
1:30 वाजेला.